Manages that run game. You know, that incredible statistic coming into this one, only 22.7 yards per game. It is insane. But they are giving up almost 300 yards in the air per game.
So the other side of that.
There's something to think about there. But it is a very stout defensive front for JMU.
All right, we're about set to get this thing going. And back to receive the kickoff, Reggie Brown, one of the wide receivers. And this one's going to go into the end zone, and that's where it's going to stay. So it'll be first down for the JMU offense, coached by Kurt Signetti. We do a weekly football panel here in Salt Lake City with you and Alema Harrington and Riley Jensen. And Riley, of course, dropped Signetti's name as a friend of his. Apparently, or he worked with him. They crossed paths, whatever the case may be.
Well, we know Riley. Riley is well known. He's an infamous name dropper. Dropper of the names. And by the way, he was a fantastic quarterback. Yeah, great quarterback coach. And now he manages the mental part of the game.
Yeah, exactly. All right, here we go. First down. Quarterback Jordan McLeod. And right out of the backfield hits Black. And Kalon Black with a little bit of a pickup before on knocks him out of bounds.
JMU injured on the play.
Wow.
Utah State wasted no time on that play, sending Anthony Switzer on the blitz from that linebacker position, nickel position, and nearly got home. Nice play by the quarterback, McLeod. McLeod is the guy. He's the best player on this football team. He's the guy that you really have to manage defensively if you're Utah State.
And already with this injury, Frank, Nick Kidwell on the right side of that offensive line.
Yeah. And, you know, Kidwell something interesting for his football team and for his offensive line every week. Every week he brings a dozen donuts just for him and his offensive line.
A dozen each or a dozen total?
See, that's what I thought too. It's a very nice gesture.
It's got to be a dozen each.
But no, it's a dozen donuts. And I was thinking, man, a dozen donuts in an offensive line room, that's going to go pretty quickly.
We broadcast, 30 high school football games, and every game you're on, you bring us a big bag of goodies.
Yes, mostly for me, but then I feel bad if it's only, so I bring them for everybody.
So the chocolate chip cookies you brought yesterday were sensational.
I knew you would like those. Well, this is unfortunate.
Awesome.
I sure hope Kidwell is able to find himself off the field, but now they're bringing more medical staff onto the field. That's tough. I hate to see that, especially on the first play of the game.
You saw Blake Anderson there, the head coach of the Aggies in his third year, 18-12 over that time. He's actually calling the plays. He's the offensive coordinator this year. That's new. He hasn't done that. And you're right, Frank. They're bringing a cart out now.
Yeah, that's
for
not
Nick Kidwell. That does not look good.
Not a good sign. You know, we had a chance to speak with Coach Anderson earlier this week, and I love listening to him. He has that kind of southern accent draw. I could imagine that guy narrating, a documentary or something. He has that kind of voice, that kind of style.
Yeah, exactly.
I really enjoyed speaking with him.
Boy, you can tell he just absolutely, any coach you'd have to love the game, but his passion for it and for the Aggies is really infectious. So Kidwell is put on the cart, and they'll take him into the locker room and check him out. Aaron Gunn, number 77, is listed as his backup. So we assume we will see him in first play of the game, and there he goes.
Oh, that's too bad. Hate to see that. And hope it's nothing too serious for Kidwell.
Get some high fives from his teammates, and away he goes.
Well, it was a good opening first play for James Madison. 9-yard gain
picked up
on
9
a little
yards,
play action pass play.
Kalon Black, the running back who caught that, 228 yards coming into the season. Kind of the feature back of that group. He has the most carries by quite a bit. So, all right. So Kidwell replaced, and the Dukes come out. Jordan McLeod, second down. They only need a yard. And Black's got it. And how about that? Bounces it outside, Frank. It gets a yard and more. That's a 10-yard pickup.
Terrific run by Black. He's a leading ground gainer on the year for James Madison. They'll get right back to the line of scrimmage. He was hemmed in at the line of scrimmage, and like you said, able to bounce it to the outside for a big gain.
1st and 10, and the Duke's already on the move. First pass for McLeod. McLeod firing downfield deep, and that's caught. And that is a touchdown for the Dukes, just like that.
How about that? Terrific protection up front, and McLeod gets the coverage that he wants and the matchup that he wants, and he finds his man.
Omarion Dawson. Wow.
On the post pattern.
Not even listed on our depth chart.
Wow.
Comes in and gets the first touchdown of the game. And that's a huge play for JMU.
It is a huge play, and absolutely no pressure on the quarterback.
Camden Wise for the point after. And the kick is good. So the Dukes strike first on the road here in Logan. And the Aggies give up a huge play right after an injury.
Yeah.
By the way, so
yeah,
might have sparked them a little bit, and they're on the board leading 7-0.
I don't know if you got a chance to watch that Clemson-Florida State game. Speaking of kickers, Clemson had a chance to win that game on a 29-yard field goal with a kicker that they essentially brought off of campus, who they determined had some eligibility left, and the poor kid missed a 29-yarder, and then Florida State went
on. Just brought him in. Just called him up, say, hey, come kick for us.
He was a kicker on the team. He never kicked. He kicked 3 PATs in his career.
Wow.
And then he finished. But he was still a graduate. He was still in graduate school on campus.
Oh, so he had the
He
graduate
had eligibility. Yeah. So they brought him back. He did hit a field goal and a PAT earlier in the game, but he missed that critical one.
So 3 plays, 75 yards, and then the 54-yard touchdown reception by Dawson. And that took all of less than a minute, about 57 seconds. In the process, unfortunately, they did lose lineman Nick Kidwell, who is in the locker room right now. So now the Aggies will counter, bringing it out of the end zone. Micah Davis. And Davis, you would characterize that as not the right decision, as he only gets to the 12-yard line. So here he comes, making his first start, true freshman, McKay Hillstead at quarterback. As mentioned, just last November, he was playing on the campus of the University of Utah Rice-Eccles Stadium and guiding his Skyridge High School team to its first ever state championship. What a great day that was for him. And now Hillstead starting here for the Aggies. He did come in and play last week, 220 yards passing in relief, but this is his first game as the Aggies starter. And right off the bat, whoa, well read as Kamara gets in there in a hurry, and Razul Faison has nowhere to go.
Just a missed assignment at the line of scrimmage as Kamara finds himself in the backfield, as the handoff is being made. Utah State trying to establish the run game. They go backwards on the first play.
So 2nd down, screen outside, and that's well read. Nowhere to go again. And this time it's Chauncey Logan who's on the spot.
Well, that's terrific identification, film study by Chauncey Logan. He fights through a block. Another loss on the play, so Utah State moving backwards.
Jalen Royals caught the ball, but like you said, Frank, a loss. So now you're looking at a 3rd and 16. They've got to get up to the 23-yard line. There's the flag. Well, this will give him 5 more yards. That ball's just thrown out of bounds. Hillstead might have recognized that. This should easily be an offside, I would think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure JMU was in the neutral zone at the snap.
And Jalen Green sneaking in. Can't do that. So that'll shorten things up. Make it a 3rd and 10.
It's still 3rd and long for Utah State.
Faison in the backfield. McKay Hillstead trying to get out of trouble, and he is wrapped up. He had nowhere to go, and three great defensive plays for this James Madison team. James Carpenter got in there so fast, Frank.
Well, that is squarely on the offensive line. There is nothing happening up front that shouldn't be managed by that Utah State offensive line. There wasn't pressure. There wasn't a blitz. It was a four-man rush. And Utah State is not managing it very well to start off this game. And now we have a situation with a punter with his heels on the back of the goal line.
Aggies kicking it away. Punt is away. There's flags everywhere.
Yeah.
Let's get this sorted out.
Well, JMU pointing at Utah State, and Utah State going backwards. I mean, it's only a half a distance to the goal line.
Exactly.
Kind of penalty.
Still, that.
Yeah.
I mean, Connor Madden was, the punter was, Jack Burgess was right up against the back of the end zone. And now he'll have even less room. So here we go again. All right, Coach Sandley with his heels on the back. And Josh Sarrett standing inside the 50. Driven back to the 50, but he's going to have room for a return, and a decent return at that. And JMU set up again with great field position. 47-yard kick, 12 yards on the return.
Oh, and
another late flag just came in.
Yeah, that's definitely going against Utah State. Whenever a player holds up his hands like I didn't do anything, then that's exactly what gets called for the penalty. That was Surratt, Josh Surratt, on the return. Now, his nickname is Cheese.
Oh, so we're not supposed to call him Josh.
Their sports information director asked that we call him Cheese because only his mother now calls him Josh after he got the nickname from his father way, way, way back when.
Cheese. Let's figure out this penalty now. I'm both 49. Of course, we won't obviously replay that because it was after the play, but there you go. All right, well, we'll take a break as James Madison has a 7-0 lead and the football here. Football coming your way on KJazz TV and the Mountain West Conference Network. Welcome back to a beautiful evening in Logan, Utah. The Aggies taking on James Madison University, and after a touchdown, a deep touchdown, James Madison back on the move once again. Reggie Brown on the reception. Anthony Switzer shuts him down. Frank, that touchdown reception by Omar Dollison, and I'd mentioned he's not on our depth chart, probably a reason why. That was his first ever catch for the Dukes.
They've been hit,
and it was a touchdown.
They've been saving him.
They've been hiding.
They've been hiding him until this big game right here,
and it paid off.
Absolutely.
2nd down and 2. And Black on the carry and more. And
oh man!
You talked about the line of scrimmage, and so far, guess who's winning?
Well, on both sides. You noticed when Utah State had the ball, they very little, in fact, negative offensive production. They're at negative 12 yards total for the game right now as Utah State. On the other side of the ball, James Madison really controlling what's happening at the line of scrimmage and big chunk plays every time.
How about 18 yards per play right now is what they're averaging. McLeod back to pass, gets it out in the flat to Black. And this time the Aggies converge quickly to Feasey. First one there, so they'll only pick up a couple on that one. And when you're averaging 18 yards a play, that's a victory for Utah State.
Yeah, that was only about a 2 or 3 yard gain for JMU on that play. Right now, Utah State is having a difficult time putting any sort of pressure on Jordan McLeod, quarterback for JMU.
Yeah, he's had his way. 2nd down. The cloud will give off to Lawton, and Lawton breaks it outside. Lawton all the way down inside the 10-yard line to the 6 before Michael Anwanyu finally brings him down.
They'll get right to the line of scrimmage. That play designed to go to the left side. Great cutback by Lawton.
15 yards on the pickup. Here goes Lawton again. And Lawton gets down to about the 2.5-yard line, already leading 7-0. They're looking for more.
Well, they are on the doorstep. JMU moving the ball with great efficiency here in this first half of play. About to punch another one in.
Yeah, 2nd and goal. Can the Aggies defensive line hold up on this drive? Lawton. I'll tell you what, if McLeod had kept that, he walks into the end zone.
I'm not sure it was an option for him to keep it. But had he kept it, he was all by himself.
4th and goal. Here we go. Lawton again, and they held him. Now, the scoreboard said 3rd and goal. The box on the field said 4th and goal. So now we're at 4th and goal.
Yeah.
They'd flipped it one too many.
Well, he was just projecting.
He was just planning on this?
He was planning on the 4th down, and now JMU decides they're gonna run the field goal team on.
By the way, Ike Larson big on that last stop. He had his first interception this season 2 weeks ago when we broadcasted that game against Idaho State. So field goal on the way. Camden Wise, and he's a good one. And Wise kick is good. He's hit them all. He's hit all his point afters and all his field goals this year. 6 for 6 now at this point, and 10 for 10 on point afters. So the Dukes expand their lead 10-0. And now the Aggies need to figure out how to make a little room for their running backs and quarterback when we come back to a beautiful night in Logan. Aggie football on KJazz TV and the Mountain West Conference Network. Oh. James Madison goes 8 plays, 36 yards. They get a 20-yard field goal. And now they lead 10-0, and the Aggies on their first drive were essentially going backwards the entire time. We'll see if they've managed to remedy that as this kick again goes into the end zone. They're going to bring it out again. Ooh. And we'll see if it works out a little bit better. Micah Davis, there's flags, a couple of them.
Yeah, I think there's a block in the back on the return.
So he only got to the 17-yard line, and you're thinking it's going to back up.
It's not going to go the right way, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a block in the back right there. We saw it on the replay. So this one's going to be marched back. You know, I had an idea. I had a thought during the break, Dave. Yeah. You know how the mascots, let's hear what he has to say.
Yep, you got it.
Why don't you know how the mascots will do push-ups when?
Well, no,
when
here it's the ROTC guys, or the Army guys,
or the ROTC.
Yeah.
Why don't we?
Because they're stronger.
Why don't we start a tradition?
Are you
that
kidding?
No matter who scores, we do the push-ups.
If they scored more than a field goal, I'd be out.
This is a great opportunity for you and I to get in really good shape.
All right, Aggie offense is back. McKay Hillstead is the quarterback and trying to dump this off. That's almost intercepted.
You could see that ball. You could see JMU converging on that ball. McKay Hillstead was pressured immediately.
Yeah, Kamara nearly got him.
Replay, and then he just was off his spot. Wasn't able to put anything on that ball. Wow, James Madison is just wrecking Utah State at the line of scrimmage right now.
2nd down. Hillstead again. Tries to step up. Nowhere to go. Sacked.
Terrific coverage in the secondary.
Ramunek got him.
Yeah. And pressure up front. This, I was really curious if this James Madison defense was for real. With that 22.7 yards per game rushing stat, they look
they're
pretty
showing
darn
it now.
Good.
3rd down, 14. Hillstead again has a little more time. Oh, my word. And he absolutely delivered a perfect ball to Lane, but he was popped the second he made the catch.
Yeah, Lane's going to feel that one.
Oh,
it's a big, tough kid. He hops back up, and he has to go back out for special teams. He wanted to work his way to the sidelines, but no go. Oh, what a hit right there. 49, Meehan. Safety. Put a shoulder pad right in his rib cage. And this is the second time Utah State is punting with the heels right on the goal line, the back of the goal line.
Speaking of tight end, we were at Lehigh High School yesterday, and the tight ends coach here, DJ, he was there because they're looking at, as we watch this return, good tackle there to keep what could have been worse. Grayson Brousseau, the big tight end for Lehigh, and he loves him, says, all right, we've got a good tight end room, but we'll get him up here and put a little more weight on him and try to get him worked in. And DJ was hanging out. He was hung out for about half the game. He's serious. He's looking at some people. We'll take a break. Aggies trying to get on the board. Right now, JMU has the ball. Welcome back. Beautiful night here in Logan. Happy to be broadcasting on KJS TV locally and the Mountain West Network, if you're watching there as well. Frank, we were talking about the amount of push-ups that the ROTC had to do for Utah State when they scored 78 2 weeks ago. 516.
Who did the math?
Tyson Ewing, our crack statistician, added it up. 516 total. That's total from the very first score until the 78th point was scored.
If Tyson did the math, then he's right. I believe it. If Alema did the math, I don't believe it.
Well, he'd have it at 1,000.
He'd round it up. Speaking of math, that is the first negative play for JMU.
Yeah, and it comes by way of penalty.
Right now, JMU has 112 yards of total offense. Utah State, minus 16.
Well, that is a line of scrimmage issue.
That is absolutely. Here comes the blitz.
McLeod gets out of it. He's got a little bit of room. Gets the corner, and he'll pick up 4. That was a long way to get. They'll spot it 3 yards. Let me take your little stat one step further. JMU, their average starting field possession, the 43-yard line.
Yeah.
Utah State's average starting position, the 9.
Watch the end of this play. Is that holding? Is that holding? It kind of looked like holding.
The officials didn't see
nothing called on that play, and so another big play for JMU.
Second down, 7. McLeod fakes, takes off. He's wrapped up short of the first down. A good carry nonetheless, but as Hale Motu Upuaka gets him.
Easy for you to say.
That's where Alema comes in handy.
That's the only place where
third down and 5.
Handy. I like when Utah State brings the pressure. They need a little more discipline on the defensive side to keep contained. But that seems to push JMU off of the spot for the quarterback. We'll see what they do here.
Jordan McLeod at quarterback. McLeod looking. Quick pass. Knocked out. And the Aggies have held as Devin Dye timed that perfectly, Frank.
Good defensive play right there as we watch McLeod, plenty of time to throw, finds his man. And McLeod able to get his hand in there, knock it away, force the 4th down. But JMU this is that weird part of the field.
Yeah, they're not leaving.
Don't punt, don't kick a field goal. Let's just keep our offense on the field here.
4th and 5. McLeod looking, stumps the screen off, wide open. Black has a ton of room. He's got the first down and a lot more down near the 10-yard line. Nobody out in the flat to cover him.
There's something happening on the defensive side when the running back out of the backfield is completely uncovered.
Yeah, no one there.
Nobody at all. I know there was some pressure by Utah State, but somebody is missing an assignment on the defensive side of the ball, and now Utah State can't get lined up defensively.
Results in a 19-yard pickup, first down. And they're going outside again. with Wright, and Wright down to the 1-yard line, just shy of the goal, and I'm not sure how he didn't get in. But Kai Wright.
And watch the end of this play. Tafisi, boy, he lays a lick on Wright.
Look
there.
At
that. Wow. He blasted him.
I thought he had knocked him into the end zone. It doesn't matter because there they go. And another, hold on.
There's no signal.
No one has signaled.
Wait, where's the signal?
I mean,
everyone is saying it's a touchdown.
They're setting up for the point after when they never signaled touchdown.
No, did anyone signal touchdown?
But it is a touchdown.
It's a touchdown.
I literally never saw.
Everyone believes it's a touchdown, but I never saw a signal.
Yeah. Anyone? Nobody.
No one in our booth saw a signal.
I don't think anybody wanted to take credit for it.
Well, touchdown.
All right. Well, there you go. And just a disastrous start for the Aggies. Point after is good, and the Dukes undefeated coming into Logan, and they now lead at 17-0. And the Aggies, Frank, I don't think they haven't even sniffed midfield yet.
No, not even close. Well, they have minus 16 yards of offense. JMU has been controlling the line of scrimmage in this football game.
6 plays, 36 yards, and a 1-yard touchdown run by Lawton. We are back, Mountain West Network, KJazz TV, and things not going the way the Aggies would like them to go. Frank?
Yes,
James
sir.
Madison averaging 9.8 yards per play.
That's really good.
Almost a first down per play. Utah State is averaging minus 2.8. They need to get something cooking. And individually, McLeod, the quarterback, he's already over 100 yards passing, 106, and running back Black's at 50 yards. So
yeah,
everything is working for them.
Everything is working. And the nice thing about being at the bottom is there's only one way to go.
Yeah.
For Utah State.
Well, I guess you could go further down.
Well, yeah, maybe.
This is
I'm
great
to be
field
optimistic.
position. Right?
It is.
Probably the best of the game.
For Utah State, there's no
for
question.
For the Aggies. All right, McKay Hillstead, the true freshman at quarterback.
Oh, dear.
Oh, man. Little shovel pass. And that Booth hit immediately.
Oh, wow.
And hit
Jalen
hard,
Green is stunting on that play. And you'll see he starts at the defensive end. He swings around to the middle of the field, right into the shovel pass. Wow, what a play there by Jalen Green.
2nd down, 12. Duke showing a little pressure again. They back off. 4-man rush. And Hillstead, it looks like he got hit on the head by Jalen Green and just enough to trip him up.
Well, and
thought he might get out of that, but no.
Nope. And this play started on the 25-yard line, and look where we are now.
Yeah, here we go again.
Inside the 15. So negative. I mean, this is I don't know that I've ever seen an offense on 3. Is this the 4th series or 3rd series of plays? 3rd series of plays not have positive offensive production.
And there's only a 3-man rush right now. And they'll get a couple of yards, but not much. They'll have to kick it away as it'll be 4th and 16.
Yeah.
Wow. That, by the way, Frank, that play represents their first positive play of the entire game. First time. And we've got 3 minutes to play here in the first quarter. So some things to work on. And it all starts, like you said, Frank, with the offensive and defensive lines in those battles.
That's what Coach Anderson told us. And that's what James Madison told us, is that the game would be won and lost at the line of scrimmage. That is so true. I mean, it's true in almost every football
sport,
game, absolutely, especially so here today, as James Madison is controlling and dominating that area of the field.
So it calls for a fair catch, 30-yard line. 50-yard kick and no return. As Stephen Sandley kicking well for this Aggie team.
Is this the – wait, Tyson, is this the worst starting field position for James Madison? The 30-yard line? No, the first drive of the game, they started at their own 25.
Yeah, right.
So this is the second worst starting field position. Wow. Well, if Utah State can start getting something going at the line of scrimmage, they might give themselves a chance.
All right, well, Jordan McLeod at quarterback. Lawton in the backfield. He'll throw it outside low, but I believe it is caught. And Reggie Brown on the reception, and they're going to move the chains.
Offensive line doing a very nice job for James Madison. And Jordan McLeod has not been under duress at all. Even under blitz situations, he's moved away nicely out of the pocket and made positive yardage.
First down again. McLeod this time gives to Lawton. And Lawton wrapped up, trying to get outside, but a good open field tackle. There is a flag down. And the guys in purple are walking the other way. Or are they? Well, I don't see the flag.
I don't see the flag either.
All right, well, they picked it up.
Picked up the flag? No, it is.
Oh, no, there it is.
It is a flag against Utah State.
Oh, my word. This is
it's a big one. That's a personal foul.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Paul Fitzgerald made a terrific play on the defensive side. I didn't see the penalty.
Well, that was the best hidden flag I've ever seen. I still can't see where it was dropped. Oh, maybe he's using a green one. Oh, it was way downfield. That's what we're all looking in the backfield thinking it's your standard hold. And once again, they'll go to Lawton. Look at the speed. He gets outside. He's got the corner. He's got the first down. He's got more. Finally knocked out of bounds by Francois. But another huge chunk play for this Dukes team, 16 yards. I mean, they're just controlling this game.
Yeah, there's no penetration at the line of scrimmage. And then good blocking outside by the receivers as Lawton bounces it to the outside. Like, there's just too many rushing lanes, too much open space right now for James Madison.
Palmer now into the game as they're dividing things up, and McLeod will keep it, and he gets to the edge. Collision, and this is going to be a late hit, it looks like.
Yep, 2 more flags come out.
Yeah, J.D. Drew did not lay off. There might be somebody hurt over on that sideline. No, they got him up. So we'll get the call here. Late hit out of bounds is not a difficult call to make if you're an official. And
no,
that's one
obvious.
Of
the easiest. By the way, you realize we're still in the first quarter of play.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
And they
minute 9 left.
Are trying to punch in another touchdown.
Yeah. And they are on the move. This James Madison football team looks very polished.
Well, they've looked pretty good all year, but they're approaching. I mean, their season high is 38. They're going to be close to that if they get another score here. And Palmer, there you go. Now there's the line that Coach Anderson wants to see. And be maybe back to the line of scrimmage at best.
Like 52 Spires on the tackle. Defensive end for Utah State. Finally able to get some penetration into the backfield and make that stop. No gain on the play.
Second down. They can't get a first down at the 1. Palmer gets outside, puts on a little move, dives ahead. He's going to be a little bit shy. Boy, be careful on those sidelines.
No kidding. I don't know, Dave. Would you call these missed tackles by Utah State? It seems like
certainly are a few of them.
They're getting a hand or something on the offensive player, and they're going to let the time expire. It did expire.
Yep, there you go. So we're 1 quarter in, and James Madison has already put up 17 points. They are knocking at the door. Good to have you along on our broadcast tonight on KJazz TV and the Mountain West Network. Aggie football will be back. Fox, along with former University of Utah quarterback Frank Dolce, Tyson Ewing, keeping us honest with stats and spotting. And right now, nothing going well for the Aggies as they trail James Madison 17-0, and James Madison 4 yards away from putting another score on the board.
Well, an interesting things happening on the Utah State sideline as well. with Cooper Laga warming up.
Warming up.
Quarterback.
All right, here we go. 3rd and 3 or 4 yards to the end. Oh, he's open again, but they got there in time. So McLeod still looking, fires into the end zone, and it is caught. Sproles, Phoenix Sproles, the youngster out of North Dakota State, hauls that one in. And tack on another one for the Dukes.
Well, it looked like Utah State had a little something going. Finally able to pressure the quarterback, just a 4-man rush to come up late, but then you just lose coverage in the back of the end zone. That's the difficulty when you have a quarterback that can move around and break the pressure.
Well, and you saw Black come out of the backfield, and this time, because they got victimized last time they ran that play, and they covered it, but then Sproles managed to get open.
Yep.
Here we go.
They want, I think they want to see if
it looked low.
If it skipped. Yeah, we're
see if we can get another look at this.
Get a look at a replay here.
They'll go under the hood, and we'll try to get a replay up as well.
There wasn't much from Utah State. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's hard to tell. We need a little bit
really
more slow. I don't know if the ball got to the ground. It certainly got to the receiver, Sproles, in the air, but did it hit the ground and bounce back up into his gut? We'll see here.
Well, then you have to ask yourself, is there enough to overturn it? Because the ruling, of course, on the field, I don't have to tell you this, we've all learned this situation, is touchdown. And the old indisputable evidence comes into play here. And if
I know,
they don't see it.
And the rule seems so clear, you would think they wouldn't have any controversy surrounding that, but then there's still controversy
surrounding it.
So, yeah, around it. Looks like we got the abominable snowman here.
It's a little early for that
in Logan.
We did get we were up here 2 nights ago doing a high school game over at Ridgeline, and there was snow. There's still some way up high, but in the mountains, because we had that storm that came through that night. Yeah. But maybe he's just down here looking for food.
I don't know about that, but he sure has some dance moves.
So right now, it is a touchdown. 193 yards of offense. Wow, for James Madison. And Utah State still trying to get, they need 22 more yards, Frank, just to get to 0.
To break even in the second quarter of play. I don't know what. And I'm sure that's not a record, but that's.
All their drives have been, nice, sustained drives. This last one, 7 plays, 69 yards, and the 3-yard touchdown in just over 3 minutes. So point after on the way, Camden Wise, who's all about perfection. And he stays that way. 3 more point afters today and a field goal. So 12 for 12 on the season. And James Madison leading now 24-0. The Aggies have had some slow starts this season. They fell behind at Iowa, ended up losing by just 10, and fell way behind at Air Force. That ended up 39-21. But this is a head scratcher right now.
Well, I'm very interested to see who steps in at quarterback. It looks like he'll step.
Yeah, it looks like he'll stay. But to your point, the backups were warming up. We saw Laga throwing the ball around.
And apparently Laga had a very good week of practice, which is encouraging if you need to bring him in, keeping his head in the game.
Well, another thing that has been a little bit of an issue is the Aggies have returned all the kickoffs so far, but none of them have been really good returns. They've all been right around the 10 to 15-yard line, or a penalty has affected them. They
finally decided to take a knee on the last one, and they got to the 25-yard line, but then they went backwards.
So Terrell Vaughn and Micah Davis at their goal line. We'll see what they do here. And this one's going to sail into and out of the end zone. So they'll bring that out and see what this offense can get going. As I said, they need at least 22 yards just to get to 0, and then we can start counting up. Rough start.
I don't know I've ever been involved in a game like that. We're through,
and you're
through quarter.
Okay, yeah.
That it's been negative yardage for the offensive football team.
Yeah, that is a rough one. All right, Hillstead still in the game. Booth, the running back, and he gets the first carry. And Booth, here comes some positive yardage. Booth will be very close to an Aggie first down. Haven't seen one of those. Picks up 8.
And that gets the crowd going.
There you go.
And Utah State will get right back on the ball.
I think they want anything just to get them cheering. Booth again. And Booth leans ahead.
Very
but
close.
They're going to stop. They're going to spot it just shy.
Well, you know, Utah State.
Now we got an
injured player. Oh,
this time the
Aggies.
Aggies.
Offensive lineman, 77.
Ralph Frias. He's the Arizona State transfer. And in a game where the linemen are so important, this is not something you want to see. So we'll take a break while they attend to Frias. The Aggies trailing 24-0, but they have the football on KJAZ TV and the Mountain West Network. We are back. Aggies have the football, trying to get something going. They actually did just get a first down, they got the one.
They're close to it.
They're very, very close to it. They need half a yard. Let's see if they can come up with that. And there it is. And listen to the crowd.
How about that? Well, that was a well-earned first down.
Indeed.
James Madison even blitzes into the run in the middle of the field, and Utah State
Booth
able to get it.
Gets it going. And here we go on first down. McKay Hillstead's pass is high. Boy, you know what, Frank? He had Terrell Vaughn wide open. No one near him.
Yeah, he did.
He elected to go to Royals.
I'm sure. I mean, look, he's a year out of high school, and this is a game that can fluster a quarterback.
Well, that's a good point. And last year at Skyridge, when he was a quarterback, everyone was open on every play.
Yeah, and he had the best offensive line in the conference and region and everything else, and that is a
screen to Royals, and Royals upended by Q Reed, number 1 on number 1. And already you're looking at a 3rd and 11.
Yeah, and now advantage for James Madison. They're only going to rush 4 and drop a bunch of people in the coverage. They slow blitz on a 5th, and McKay is not out of the pocket. He's not out of the tackle box.
There was a receiver over there.
That's right. There was a receiver heading back to the ball. So
he's okay on that. But, man, point well taken. He was in high school not even a year ago, but he's not getting any help.
No.
From that offensive line at all. I mean, it's hike and run for your life.
Yeah, and I don't know if Utah State's tried to incorporate more of a quick passing game. They've tried the wide receiver screen a couple times. That's been blown up by James Madison.
Caught Sandley with the kick. Josh Serrett will let it bounce. And it'll be at the 28-yard line where James Madison will take over. The Aggies haven't stopped them yet. 37-yard punt, no return. But the Dukes up 24-0.
They've scored on every drive, right? Yeah.
Their punter has not seen the field. So something the Aggies definitely need to get going. Nice crowd here on hand, and why not? It's a beautiful evening for football here. This is a great time of year in Utah, northern Utah. It's a little chillier up here in Logan than it is in Salt Lake City, but a beautiful night nonetheless. Aggie fans just looking for well, you heard them cheer on the first down. They're just looking for something to get excited about. And here we go. Jordan McLeod, a quarterback for James Madison, and he'll give to Black. And this play is well read by the Aggies, and nothing doing as Devin Dye got there and shut it down.
Dye, from his safety position, you'll see him fly into the screen here as Black is trying to get to the outside. Good job up front by this Aggie defensive line, and then Devin Dye reads it perfectly and just holds Black up long enough for the troops to arrive and knock him down. First loss.
Only the second negative play for JMU.
for
game.
JMU.
How about that? Aggies showing some pressure. Here it comes. It's picked up well, though. Pass caught in the flat. Sproles. But, man, were they. Devin Dye again.
Yeah.
Frank, he's got a helmet sticker 2 plays in a row.
And that is no gain on the play. So that looked like he was downfield. But after all of that, 0 gain. So Utah State now is 1 good defensive play away from forcing a punt by James Madison, who's been running up and down the field tonight.
3rd and 14. McLeod looking.
Whoa.
Intercepted. Picked off by the Aggies, and a great return. Was that Dye again?
Who? That was his series.
So that is the Devin Dye series. Phenomenal. Two big defensive plays and then the pick.
And then, yeah, absolutely right. The 2 big tackles in the pick, and that's just a bad read by Jordan McLeod, who had plenty of time to throw, but he throws into double coverage behind his receiver right to Devin Dye. And how about that? The Utah State Aggies are back on the field on the offensive side with a little bit of momentum.
Boy, they needed something good to happen, and it just did. So now we'll see. That as Robert Briggs comes into the game.
I like that run on first down, right up the gut, hit it quickly, pick up a few yards, and the Aggies right back on the ball.
2nd down. Hillstead gives to Briggs again. Briggs cuts back. It's going to be just shy. Well, no, he didn't gain much. They're going to spot it. It's going to be a 3rd and 4.
Utah State is spreading out this James Madison defense with their wide receivers, sideline to sideline. Now they're going to go trips to one side with the tight end. But that creates kind of a single coverage scenario and an opportunity to throw the ball one-on-one to one of those receivers. We'll see what they do here.
1 for 5 on 3rd downs. No flag there. Hillstead going to the end zone. Jump ball, and it falls. Incomplete. He was trying to hit Micah Davis, so now you're looking at a 4th down and go get some points, right?
Yeah, I think you have to try and put some points on the board. That's too bad. I thought Hillstead might have something underneath to throw the ball. Didn't look like he was getting pressured too badly on that play.
Yeah, they only needed 4 yards.
Yeah.
But instead, Elliot Nimrod on for the field goal to get the Aggies at least on the scoreboard. 35-yard kick. It's a fake. Oh, no. Nimrod. Oh, he got out of the tackle.
Oh.
And it's a touchdown on a fake field goal. And the crowd goes nuts.
Well, the coach is saying he ran out of bounds. The official is saying he did not.
Oh, boy, it could be a replay.
And
how about this crowd, Frank? Did they need something?
How about Nimrod? I mean, line that guy up on the offensive side of the ball.
Here's the play. Keep an eye as he's running down the field. Oh, right there.
I don't know. I think he's super close. Unless his heel
did not touch down.
He's still past the first down marker, but I still, that is very, very close.
I definitely can see why their head coach, Kurt Signetti, wants to have a look at this. And he's standing out on the field like, why aren't we calling?
But would that view, if you're the official, would that view overturn the call on the field?
I'd have to see it again because his heel looked like it was out, but I don't think his heel was on the ground. It was above the ground. And as you said, we're going to have to look at the yard line where that took place.
Yeah.
And now they are going to look at it. No, they're going to kick the point after.
Leading his case. And wait.
Look, Signetti's just losing it. He's out on the, he's having none of this.
That's got to be a flag. You can't do that.
Yeah, he says, I do not sustain this call.
I'm not sure you could. Wait, is that? Can you do that?
I
as a
don't
coach?
know.
Can you just walk into the middle of the play?
Well, his
as they're
assistant
moving on?
coaches are trying to get, because you're right, they were lined up, and he was standing obviously he knew the only way I'm going to stop this play right now is if I go out on the field, and he did.
He is pleading his case. And
well, that's
I think someone from the replay booth is going to have to say whether or not they're going to give it a
that
replay.
appears to be what happened. And maybe they've seen it. And
yeah,
they were of the opinion that he was not out of bounds.
I think Cignetti is very close to being.
I think one of the refs just told one of his assistants, keep your coach back here because we're moving on.
Yeah,
here we go.
That is shocking that there's no flag on that play. Okay.
So
now it's
you know
under
what?
review.
Cignetti got what he wanted. All he wanted was to have a replay, and that's what they're going to do.
Do you think it took the replay booth that long to call down and say, let's replay it? That was an extraordinarily long time, and I don't know how many views the replay booth has of that play.
And the official trots all the way down to the other 10-yard line to have a look.
The view we had, I didn't see enough to overturn the call on the field. But Cignetti was able to convince the officials.
It'd be great if we could get another replay of this. Maybe they don't want to. We share the cameras with the, full disclosure, the in-house stadium board. And if they show it there, the fan reaction is maybe that's something they're concerned about. But there's, Blake Anderson looks like he'd even like to see it again. He's pleading his case. But from the angle I saw, Frank, it looked like his heel was out of bounds, but it was not on the ground. He was on his toes. He was on his tiptoes.
It was very difficult to tell from that angle. So far, Nimrod's made the play of the game.
No, that was phenomenal. And you heard when I was calling that play, I thought, this is
he's
done.
tackled. Yeah,
this is blowing up. How he got out of that tackle was amazing.
I don't know. I think that was Chauncey Logan, defensive back, who was there to make a tackle, and him.
Well, you know what? You know what happened.
Sneak
you know
away.
this. That'll
Here
be
we
played.
go. Oh wait.
Oh, they're just showing.
Coach
Cignetti.
You can't use that.
Oh, he's got his phone out.
You can't use that. That is illegal from the minute the replay has started.
Wow.
You can't do that.
I've never seen that. Coach pulls out his. Here we go. Well, there you go.
There has to be some
That's
sort of
weird.
discipline for that. You
Like a
can't
technical
put your
foul.
Yes. You can't put your phone up in front of the official.
That's crazy. Never seen that. Wow. Okay. Jeez. All right, so the point after is good, but man, was that entertaining. Curt Cignetti did not like what he saw there, but the touchdown stands. 4 plays, 24 yards, 18-yard touchdown on a fake field goal. And Elliot Nimrod got out of what looked like was going to be almost a sure tackle. Aggies are on the board when we come back. Aggie football here on KJAZ. And then Black comes back, and here we go. Aggies bringing pressure, and it paid off. That ball was tipped.
Yes, it was. And the pressure finally gets home for Utah State. That's Blaine Spires, number 52. And that is a terrific stand there. Maybe this Utah State team is settling in after a very, very difficult start to this football game.
Well, you got to admit, you rarely, if ever, lose a game in the first quarter. You know,
Whoa.
Dear.
That
Didn't need to do that. They may have just handed him a first down.
That may. Now it's a. Oh, wow.
think that might be the case.
Yeah, that's 5 yards.
That's 5 yards.
And that's
right
5 yard
it.
away,
Yep.
and that's a terrible penalty right there.
Oh, coach is not going to like this. Let's see. Yep. Oh, boy.
Ouch.
They had him off the field.
Oh. That is hard to take for the Aggies. Collective groan out of all the college football coaches across the country on that one.
Wow. Well, you were right there. And here we go. 9:49 first quarter. Aggies finally on the scoreboard. But James Madison, the Dukes, leading 24-7, trying to protect their undefeated record. And here we go. Back to that running attack. Getting outside. Lots of room for Black. And Black all the way up near midfield before he's finally pushed out of bounds. Ike Larson.
And a flag down on the play at the line of scrimmage or back near the line of scrimmage, and JMU is walking back the wrong way. This could be. Now, I don't know why there would be a holding penalty on this, especially in the middle of the field. We'll have to see.
Yeah, that would make little sense.
Could be something else, maybe hands to the face or something, because the play hit off the right tackle and then bounced to the outside. The flag's right in the middle of the field of the line of scrimmage.
Face mask.
On the offense.
Wow. Okay, then.
Yeah.
You do not see that very often.
Not
because
regularly.
If you're stiff arming, you can put your hands on a face mask.
Yeah, but I think it happened on the interior line of scrimmage.
Okay, that you can't do.
So there is a illegal hands to the face on offensive linemen that you see, but the face mask against an offensive player at the line of scrimmage is rare.
Again, you're right. Well, that'll back it up. It'll be a 1st and 16. That's obviously they mark it off in the spot, or it would have been a 1st and 15. And here we go. Black again, wrapped up. Won't even get back to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1, possibly 2.
Credit Utah State for fighting at the line of scrimmage, where they have been beaten up in this football game so far, but now starting to get their footing a little bit and pressure this James Madison offense.
So 2nd down, 13. Line to gain is the 35. McLeod open. Out in the flat, and there's your 1st down. And it's Surratt, the punt returner.
And brother of Cheese,
Yeah.
Surratt.
Oh, so what do we call him?
Brothers. He doesn't get a nickname. He's just normal.
So it's just Cheese that gets
It's Elijah and Cheese.
Okay.
The Surratt brothers. Yep. That's how it goes.
So another 1st down as James Madison continues to move the football. Jordan McLeod, a quarterback, has had a very nice day so far. Palmer comes in now at running back. He's open in the flat, not looking at him. As McLeod's looking for more, that pass is low and incomplete. Oh, man, I'll tell you, Alema Palmer was so wide open coming out of that backfield.
So wide open.
McLeod didn't look that way.
But he didn't. And sometimes you just miss.
Yeah.
It's easy for us. Sometimes we see those things.
Well, you played the position
just
of quarterback, and I watched you for a couple of years, and I never saw you miss anything.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, every time an open receiver came back to the huddle, he told me about it. Every receiver I ever played with was always open. No one ever
they
got.
always are.
Never was covered.
Was Roley wasn't with you? No, Roley.
Yes, he was.
He was.
In fact, I was just texting with the great Brian Roley today.
Yeah.
He was always open.
Screen to the outside. It will not be enough for a 1st down, but it will be a 3rd and short coming up.
All right, well, another injury on the field here. Utah State Aggies are down, and now they're getting back up, and he's going to take himself. That's Tafisi. He's going to have to take himself off the field.
Yeah, MJ Tafisi, the Washington transfer. leads this team.
Oh. Tafisi is down again. He's clearly compromised at the moment.
He has been a valuable part of this offense, leads the team with tackles, 23 coming into this game. And they are working closely with him right now. They can ill afford to lose another key member of this defense.
It's not a good sign. He was slow getting up. He got to his feet. The medical staff immediately ran to him. Now he's up again, and as he was walking off under his own power, he went down to a knee again. And I'm sure they'll put him in concussion protocol.
Yeah,
and
he'll head to
his
the
helmet.
10. Yeah, well, that's the first thing they do. All right, so 1 for 5 now on third down conversions. But again, as we've said, they haven't had a lot of third down conversions they needed to attempt, at least earlier in this game. The Aggies have settled in and been a little bit better, certainly in this second quarter. The only touchdown that JMU scored in this quarter was right at the beginning of it. Pressure coming, wide open and right in the middle of it, Reggie Brown. And Reggie Brown will score. A 58-yard play on 3rd and short.
Utah State took a chance on that play, and they blitzed to safety. And Jordan McLeod throws the ball in that vacated area. And then there's nobody back to stop Reggie Brown.
Well, the hits just keep on coming for the Dukes. Point after, again, is up and good. And now JMU up 31-7. Aggies looked like they might have something going when they scored on that fake field goal, but unable to shut down this JMU offense. 9 plays, 85 yards on that touchdown drive, and it ends with a 58-yard TD. My goodness. We'll be back here at Aggie Football on KJAZ TV and the Mountain West Network. Tough situation for the Aggies here, Frank, as they had the JMU offense off the field.
Yeah.
And that offside from Switzer gave them new life, and then a couple plays later, of course, they end up with a touchdown.
So,
that was costly indeed,
Costly mistake. We'll have to check in and see how MJ Tafisi is feeling. I don't see him back on the sideline yet.
Yeah, they can ill afford to lose that as well.
Yeah.
So back they come. McKay Hillstead still at quarterback. It's been a rough go for the true freshman, Robert Briggs, in the backfield behind him, but he really, again, has not had any protection to really speak of tonight. So Hillstead out into the flat, passes complete to Vaughn, and a lot of purple jerseys get there in a hurry.
1 yard gain, quick wide receiver screen type route. Just nothing there as James Madison rallies to the football. Terrific effort on the James Madison side.
So they get a yard, Frank, and that still represents the first positive pass play of the entire game for Utah
my
State.
Goodness.
What you just saw.
Here
that won't be the second one, is Hillstead just not settling in, is he?
No, you're exactly right, because we've seen McKay Hillstead
play. He's a great quarterback,
and we've seen him be very accurate with the ball. He is clearly, look at this is a game that would fluster lots of quarterbacks, and here's a guy who's getting his first collegiate start 1 year after being
not
in high
even
school.
a year. He's 4 of 10, minus 4 yards. Really struggling in this outing, but this is a really good football team as well. That pass is complete, positive yardage, and it's also a first down for Jalen Royals.
And that's a terrific play by Hillstead, who does a little bit of a half roll, looks back across the field, and he rifled that ball.
When you saw his arm strength, right, having to throw that
absolutely.
Far.
Watch this. That is a shot right there by Hillstead.
Hillstead again. Winds up, throwing deep, got a man, it's caught, and that is going to go for an Aggie touchdown to Colby Bowman.
2 plays in a row. Utah State runs a little bit of a play-action half rollout with the quarterback. First one was a throwback. Second one, as we said prior to the football game, this Utah State Aggie wide receiver group can put pressure on the defensive backfield, and that is exactly what they did.
63 yards on the touchdown. That's the McKay Hillstead that we all know.
Look out, Nimrod's lining up.
He may be like, hey, just
never know
hike
what
it to
he's
me.
going to do. Hey, remember when we talked to Coach Anderson? He said that he always had something up his sleeve.
He said he had some trick plays, and obviously wasn't going to tell us exactly. But sure enough, we witnessed that today.
Well, that's a terrific response.
Yeah, they needed that. 4 plays, 75 yards, 63-yard touchdown pass from McKay Hillstead to Colby Bowman. And Bowman, that's his first touchdown of the year as well.
Okay, well, Utah
Aggie
State
fans are loving it.
Yeah, they are. What do they call this, Dave?
It's the fight song.
The Scotsman.
The
Scotsman. Yeah, you said the fight song, but it's the Scotsman. You just offended a whole legion of Utah State Aggie fans.
Oh, I apologize.
By calling it the fight song. It's the Scotsman. Now here's the situation. There's 6 minutes and 27 seconds left in the second quarter. There is plenty of football left to play, and now Utah State finds themselves 17 points down. That is not an obstacle that you can't overcome.
Yeah.
But the issue is, can Utah State now start forcing the action on the defensive side? Can they force James Madison to give up the football without scoring points?
Well, we're about to find out.
We are about to find out. And let's see, there is no MJ Tafisi heading out onto the football field for Utah State on the defensive side.
I just looked at the replay of Signetti and his coaches.
That's illegal. That's illegal.
That is
you
so
can't
funny.
show that. So Cole Joyce will jump in at the middle linebacker spot in place of Tafisi.
Some big shoes to fill, but Coach Anderson loves his linebacker room, and they're pretty deep. Jordan McLeod at quarterback. He's already got a ton of yards in this game. Sarrett, not cheese, on that one.
You're going to try and get the Surratt brother a nickname before this game is out. Elijah.
Yeah. McLeod's 14 of 19, 211 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And we still have 6 minutes to play in the half. The Aggies need to get on him. Second and short. Black. First down.
Ooh.
Devin Dye was there again, along with Jaden Francois. Dye has been active tonight.
Yes, Dye took kind of the worst of that hit as Black comes bowling through the line of scrimmage, and Dye immediately went backwards on the tackle.
First down, JMU on the move. The Aggies looking for a stop. McLeod again. Outside, open Brown. And Brown gets out of one tackle, out of bounds. It's going to be right on the marker. I think he just stepped past it.
Yep, that'll give him that first
that'll
down.
move the chains, I believe. Yep, there they go.
And James Madison has been difficult to stop. Controlling the line of scrimmage, very little pressure, or consistent pressure, we should say, on Jordan McLeod, the quarterback. Latrell Palmer has been good. Tyson Lawton has been good. Kalen Black has been good. All of the running backs.
Yep. And now it's Palmer's turn, if they so choose to give him the football. And they do.
Reverse.
It's a reverse. Back to McLeod. And McLeod, the receivers all covered downfield, and he just throws that away. I don't.
Toward the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, there's
outside
nobody
of
in
the
the
tackle.
area, but he's outside of the box.
Yeah, and there's no one there.
Yeah.
But I think it has to reach the line of scrimmage.
You know what? I don't think it did.
And it didn't.
Yeah.
And there's the flag.
Get your phone out, Coach.
There's the flag. And look at Coach Anderson reaching for his phone to demonstrate the penalty on the play.
Boy, could you imagine if all the coaches suddenly got, there it is. They all get iPads to show the rest. So intentional grounding, that is going to back it up. Take a look. Good coverage downfield, though, Frank, as a side note and all this. That's why he couldn't throw it.
Yeah, it was very good coverage downfield. It's almost like, James Madison has been so dominant on the offensive side, moving the ball up and down the field. Why do you need a play like that? I mean, does that?
Yeah, right. Why even show that? That's a great point. So that'll take it back to a 2nd and 20. I mean, the line to gain is the 43-yard line. McLeod at quarterback. Palmer is running back. Palmer open in the flat. He throws middle of the field. That is caught by Knight. Back to the original line of scrimmage and maybe another yard, so 3rd and 9 coming.
Delayed blitz by Utah State, not able to get home. Another big gain by James Madison. And so this is the big key right here. You have to stop.
Get off field.
And it has to be you can't give them 8 yards here because then James Madison's just going to go for it on 4th down.
McLeod looking wide open again. That little route they've been running out in the flat has worked perfectly. Taj Hudson has the 1st down.
Oh, it's been open all day long. Spread out the field, little play action, and no coverage on the wide side that time for Utah State. We've seen that play over and over tonight, and it has been very successful. A couple substitutions here for Utah State. We'll see if they can get the players off the field.
Oh, they're hurrying. And they got him. Refs, of course, hold up the play so that you can make substitutions. And McLeod gives off. And how about Black getting around the edge? And he's got another 1st down. Well, and now the issue is becoming more defense than offense.
Yeah. And not only McLeod handed the ball off, but if we get a replay, McLeod was the lead blocker on the play as well.
I thought he had it
springing
at first.
Black.
16 yards for Black, and you're right. McLeod was
this. There goes
plowing
McLeod.
The road right there.
Key block by the quarterback.
Jaden Francois, who shares a number with McKay Hillstead. Black now 10 tackles or 10 carries.
And he keeps it this time.
Again.
McLeod around the left side. He'll pick up 6 yards on the play before he's knocked down.
So now he's got 11 touches and 85 yards. He's been busy.
And another substitutions here.
Well, the Aggies are running guys in and out every play.
They're just trying to get fresh legs in there as often as possible.
Approaching 2 minutes to play. Aggies scored on that last possession, hoping to get a stop and maybe one more score and go into the locker room down 10, but it has not worked out that way. 2nd down. McLeod looking end zone, firing wide open again. And it's Sarrett, and he's right on the goal line. He's at, about the 1 yard line. And Frank, he was just too open.
Well, he's open. There's no question about it. But the time that McLeod has to throw the ball, that makes it a little easier on a quarterback. And another injury for Utah State. Holy cow. And is this Dye? Holding his right shoulder.
Yeah.
In on that tackle. Boy, this is...
Well, Tifisi already went out. We haven't seen him back, have we?
No. Nope. And he's outside of the tent. The tent is shut down, but number 2 isn't evident on the sideline. So they may have taken him back to the locker room for a little more observation.
Boy, what a drive for Jordan McLeod. 7 straight completions. Going back a couple drives, he is just really playing well. And really, as you pointed out, not even getting any pressure.
He's been pressured irregularly tonight.
Yeah, let's put it that way.
by Utah State. And when they
the drive where they had him off the field
That's right.
and the offset kept him on, that was their best defensive stand yet. And then they, unfortunately, were not able to force that punt after the offside.
Yeah, and even on this drive, there have been opportunities. Utah State had James Madison on a 3rd and 10 and couldn't convert, couldn't get off the field. And so, terrific effort by the Dukes, no question about it. And they're really, we've said it time and time again, they're just winning the battle at the line of scrimmage.
1st and goal. McLeod. And McLeod kept it and just walked in. Everyone went to black, and he just waltzed right in, no one near him.
Remember when you said earlier in the game, hey, if McLeod kept that ball, he'd walk in.
This time he did.
He did. Yeah. I think one of the coaches on the James Madison sideline recorded that and played it for the coach.
They're going to hang
Showed
on
it to the official.
I'm still wondering how he got that recording that quickly, unless he was literally videoing the play. 10 plays, 75 yards, another touchdown, and another point after, of course, for Camden Wise. Targeted twice tonight with 1 reception for a yard. And Hillstead firing downfield, got an open man. Little underthrown, but it's caught. Great adjustment on the ball by Tia. And Otto Tia out of Northridge High School nearby with a big reception.
And Hillstead under pressure again, throws on the run. Not completely accurate, but good enough for Otto Tia to haul that one in. The chains move, and now there's going to be, I think there's
another review.
Yeah, I think someone on the sideline had a picture.
Get the phone out?
Got the phone, a phone review.
Well, it's 38 yards on the pickup.
We'll see.
I didn't feel like that wasn't Cobb. Hopefully we'll get another look at it right here and tell me what you think.
All right, we're going to take a look. Here's Hillstead. He's got the ball, throwing it downfield. Oh, I think it bounced into his gut.
Tyson says catch.
Tyson says catch.
Frank says it bounced.
It was a catch effort. It bounced off the turf. So, Tyson, we don't necessarily disagree.
Well, here's the good
But
news.
you were wrong.
Neither one of you get a vote. So
I'm going to see. I should Google this. I'm going to see if he caught the ball. Did Tia catch the ball? And we'll pull it up on the phone.
JMU's got a shot of it.
See what happened there. Hey, if you're interested in Pac-12 play, I have an interesting score for you right here.
Uh-oh. What do you got?
Washington State 35, Oregon State 21.
Wow. In the Pac-2.
Pac-2. That is the Pac-2 in the start of the 4th quarter.
You know, if you think about it, those two schools have 100% of the vote in the Pac-12 right now.
Yeah.
Any policy that is being made in the Pac, they're the only two that can vote on it. It'll be very interesting to see what happens to them and what happens to that. I mean, to the name. It's still technically a conference right now.
We're here on the Mountain West Network. I would not be surprised to see the Mountain West Conference and the remaining Pac-12 conference of 2 figure out how to combine.
And there you go. Ruling stands. Tyson, congratulations.
Right.
But yeah, that's a good point. It would be. I mean, because that's still, there's a brand. There's that comes with that.
Yep.
I don't know that would you maintain your Power 5 standing? I mean, that's the tough part. So who knows?
Well, I think you have 2 years as a conference to get enough teams back together.
Yeah, there you go.
And so if they did that, you could.
Would.
Yep.
38 yards on that last pickup. Oh boy.
Wow.
And he was trying to hit Vaughn there. But
yeah. Well, he was.
Yeah, Hendrick was bearing down.
He was trying to hit Vaughn, and so was Hendrick. Hendrick was trying to hit Vaughn as well. And Hillstead just late. He's just late on that ball. Bouncing around back there a little bit too long. That has to come out quicker to Vaughn to give him an opportunity.
Just over a minute in the first half. Hillstead again. And Hillstead complete. It's going to be short of the first down, but he finds Tia again.
And that's a good gain, and they give him forward progress, so that's 9 yards almost. He's going to be just short, and a timeout called.
So the Aggies will take a timeout, 54 seconds to play. This is just going to be a short 30-second timeout. Tia now on this drive, 2 receptions for 46 yards. And it'll be a 3rd and 1 coming up.
Otto Tia, budding star for the Utah State
Northridge
Aggies.
High grad from,
I don't know, does it
over there in
feel
south of Ogden?
Yeah, does it feel like Hillstead's settling in a little
bit?
A little bit.
Yeah, he has here in that previous drive with the deep ball.
Wait,
but again, regardless of how much he settles in, they've got to get some stops.
Yes, that's
priority 1 in the second half.
Absolutely right. Where are we on the, we haven't done the stats for a minute. And Utah State has to be in positive yardage now, right? Look at this. 133 net total yards for Utah State.
Go. Well, he got a big chunk of it on the deep touchdown ball.
Yeah.
He started 4 of 10, minus 4 yards. Since then, he's 4 of 8, 120 yards. So to answer your question, yes, Hillstead has definitely settled in and gets rid of that, and it's caught. How about that?
But he's short.
He's short, so it's a 4th down and another quick timeout.
I just, I wonder about that. 3rd down, less than a yard to go, and then the passing, you throw the ball there rather than just try to pick up a first down. Maybe.
Yeah, but you brought it up. This is a very difficult team to run on.
It is. Utah State's had a couple of nice runs up the gut. Hillstead feeling that one.
So it'll be a 4th and 1. And Vaughn now targeted 4 times in this game. This JMU team just moved up to the FBS level. And they're a quality bunch.
They sure are.
They're off to a great start this season. Kurt Signetti has done a great job with them. And they certainly had to travel all the way from Virginia all the way out here.
Yeah.
And that old, it's even worse when you have to go 3 time zones. They only had to go 2, but it's difficult.
That's challenging.
Yeah, travel is.
That is challenging. I am very curious to see how that affects some of the teams that have been realigned in the Big 12 and the Big 10 and
the Big 10 especially. It's even farther east to west than the Big 12.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that is a sustainable model. We'll see.
Or how about, Cal and Stanford in the ACC? I mean, come on.
Well, how does that make sense?
4th and a yard. The Aggies are 1 for 1 on their 4th down conversions tonight. And here goes Hillstead.
Look out.
Gets rid of it just in time. It's caught. It's Vaughn. And Vaughn inside the 15, down near the 12, about the 12-yard line. Aggies on the move.
And the clock will stop momentarily until they set the chains. Utah State on the ball. And now there is...
Yeah, Coach Signetti ran down and said, I want to take a timeout. This is another one of those situations. You brought this up before, Frank. You get in the end zone here. If you can go into the locker room just down 2 scores, try to get your defense sorted out.
Yes.
It's a whole nother game.
Absolutely, with that momentum. And that is a terrific play by Hillstead. Under duress, once again, just about to be sacked. And he releases the ball on target. Big first down. Inside the 20-yard line, in the red zone. They can pick up another first down at the 2-yard line with 30 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
Yeah, I'm thinking they don't want that first down. I think they just want the touchdown. Hillstead now at 137 yards and a touchdown since that rough start. Completed 6 of his last 8 passes. And he's on the move right now. And McKay firing to the end zone. A little pushing and shoving. Yeah, there's a flag. No doubt about that one. Rumanek a little too handsy on Jalen Royals.
I don't see a flag.
I swear, didn't you see a flag too? There's no flag.
There is no flag. That is a lot.
I guess it just seemed incredibly obvious.
There is still. We asked the question earlier. Does this crew? Is this a Mountain West crew that we're officiating crew?
I don't believe it is.
I don't think so. I think the visiting team brings the crew.
Hillstead, pass complete, well covered. Tia had nowhere to go. They're going to take one more timeout. You still have, with third down, you can take one shot to the end zone. You got to make sure it's to the end zone or out of bounds. And then at the very least, try to come away with a field goal.
Yeah, so that's a 30-second timeout. That's the final timeout for Utah State in this half. With 18 seconds left, it's almost like you have to take two shots into the end zone.
Don't settle for the field goal.
Well, I just don't think a field goal is meaningful in this game.
Well, the way JMU's putting up points,
that's what I mean.
Right. By the way, every single play on this drive has been a pass play. For McKay on this drive alone, he's 5 of 8 for 64 yards. All pass plays. But, that stands to reason with time running out in the half. But he's done a nice job of it, and now has the Aggies knocking on the door. We'll see if they can finish the drive. 3rd and 9 from the 12-yard line. Hillstead going to the corner. He's got a man, but a little high. That was going to be tough with 2 defenders over there to drop that in. Bowman was there.
And they will go for the points.
He's just going to try to get some more points. So 12 seconds to go in the half. And a field goal on the way. And although we've seen Nimrod.
We just don't be surprised.
I don't know if you can pull that one off twice in the same half.
You never know what you never know.
I think all the linebackers right now are squarely focused on Nimrod. And here he goes. Kick is up and good. So 3 more points for the Aggies. They have 17 points, and Nimrod scored 11 of them.
He might find himself on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, the only points he didn't get was that deep touchdown pass that McKay Hillstead threw to Kobe Bowman.
Hey, look at this.
There's the push-ups.
17. Okay, so we had 17 push-ups, and prior to that,
Don't try to do the math.
We had 14 push-ups, so that's 31 push-ups.
And then prior to that, we had 7.
Prior to that, we had 7.
So that's 38.
So that's got to be 38 push-ups, right?
There you go. Well short of the 516 they had to drop 2 weeks ago.
So if I'm Utah State and I'm the ROTC, I'm thinking that by the end of the game, the last set of push-ups the ROTC has to do, they have to be around 100 push-ups
to win this game.
To win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's assuming the defense doesn't give up any more scores.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think I worked in a couple scores.
Did you work in a couple?
Yeah,
okay.
For JMU. So if Utah State can get the ROTC a little over 100 push-ups, the last set of push-ups, then they have a good chance of winning this game.
Well, that was a 10-play drive, 64 yards, and a 28-yard field goal. And Utah State does get the ball, Frank, to start the second half.
That's right.
So I'm sure that Coach Anderson would love to have seen a touchdown there.
Yeah.
With the ball coming back to his team. But got to be careful here, too. I mean, there's only 7 seconds left, but you don't want to give up anything silly here, and that'll go into the end zone. So JMU will have one play. They take a knee or throw a deep shot.
Have you seen the kid who collects the tee?
Collects the tee, yeah.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah, watch this. I mean, well, you and I can watch it.
We can see it. He's spinning his way off the field.
He's running, he's spinning, he's dancing, he's jumping. I mean, he's making the most of his opportunity to collect the tee.
Got the crowd going.
Yeah.
So they will take a knee, and we'll go to the half with Utah State trailing 38-17. And it has been an offensive explosion for the Dukes. The Aggies will try to regroup, especially on defense. It seems like the offense has settled in on a couple of drives. And we'll come back for the halftime activities in the second half coming your way. Good to have you with us tonight. A beautiful night in Logan here. Aggie football on KJazz TV and the Mountain West Network.
That Utah State hasn't been great at the line of scrimmage. And unless you can fix that, you're going to have a long second half.
We welcome in our viewers from KJazz TV as we are set to go here on the second half. We are broadcasting on KJazz TV locally and, of course, the Mountain West Network. Delighted to be doing Aggie football this year. We've got 2 more league games coming up for you on KJazz that we're excited about. On October 7th, the Aggies will take on Colorado State. What a game they had last week against Colorado, although Colorado came back to earth today.
Well, Colorado State nearly brought Colorado back to earth.
Yeah. And then on November 11th, we have Nevada. That's going to be a chilly night. I got to tell you, does the garage door stay open in the wintertime? I guess there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, we need we like the
have to crank
atmosphere.
the heat up. Why don't you work on that?
I'm just gonna bring a super heavy coat.
Yeah. Because we're just wide open here, but it's a lot of fun. So that's our broadcast schedule on KJazz TV locally here in Utah. We're excited to be doing Aggie football this year, and all the work that we put in with Assistant Athletic Director Jerry Bovey to make all this happen. He's been a real champion on this effort, and we absolutely love doing it. So here we go, second half. McKay Hillstead back out. And somebody took a second off the game clock. So they're going to reset that to 15 minutes. And here we go. Booth in the backfield along with McKay Hillstead, whose numbers improved drastically in that second quarter. Remember, he was negative yardage in the first quarter. And this is the first Aggie running play we've seen in a little while as Booth carries it, and what a collision. But a good carry of 6 yards.
Wow, that
and considering JMU only averages giving up 20 yards a game, that's a win.
That was Meehan again on the hit, and another run play.
Booth again. You get maybe 1.5 yards, so already you're looking at a 3rd and 2.
This is an interesting situation because JMU is so good against the run. Is that what you do here? I think you probably stick with the run game. Maybe you get Hillstead on the move and give him an opportunity to throw. Trips down to the right-hand side here.
Hillstead will throw. And he's got Royals, but they're going to spot it for a first down, even though he was knocked 10 yards back. So that's an Aggie first down.
Well, that's a good start because a lot of the first half was 3 and out for the Aggies offensively. Same formation here. Trips to the right, one receiver up top.
McKay holds. Can take a look at the sideline. Plays being sent in. Again, Blake Anderson, the play caller this year. The head coach is the offensive coordinator. And on the draw, Booth again. And they're picking up a little yardage on the ground here. Fisher and Kamara there for the stop, but he picked up 3.
Yeah, there is an effort, a real effort here, starting this second half to get the run game going.
Hillstead now to throw. Got a little more time that time. Complete to Lane. And Lane's going to be right near the marker. Frank, they're going to spot it at maybe a yard, not even a yard shy. Very close, so 3rd and inches.
This one you might be able to take a chance running the ball, trying to get set for the Aggies.
Yeah, I mean, they need a foot. And that's what they're going to do, and the extra effort gets it.
Oh, and he burst through for a couple of yards.
Yeah, because Booth was caught behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And another Aggie first down.
Can't keep him in a booth.
You've been saving that all night.
All night. Thanks for the setup. Yeah.
Congratulations, Frank Dolce. So first down, Booth stays in the game. You'll see a little bit of phase on Briggs, but right now it's Booth's drive. Oh, that ball
tipped.
What a catch. That Vaughn comes up with a catch, and Frank, I don't know how it even got there.
I don't think he was throwing to Vaughn. I think he was trying to throw to Bowman down on the post pattern. The ball got tipped, and Vaughn happened to be there.
I mean, that was amazing. He just got harassed there and ended up with a 13-yard pickup. And you're absolutely right. He was looking farther downfield.
Well, you know what they say.
Lucky than good?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a bat almost flew into our booth just now. Did you see that?
The moths in Logan are huge. Booth. And Booth gets maybe a yard before Aiden Fisher gets in the way.
Well, I like this. I mean, there's no gain on that play, but Utah State leaning on the run game a little bit to start the second half here. Some success.
McKay, Hillstead fires. Oh, man. Royals could not hang on, and that would have been a big pick. He might have been able to turn and get the first down.
Yeah, there was a lot of room. It wasn't a perfect pass by any stretch, but Royals able to get both hands on it, and it just slips through his fingertips.
Yeah, but you're a former quarterback. I know you believe that should have been caught.
Yeah, that's a catchable ball. There's no question about it.
4 of 11, 2 for 2 on this drive on third downs. And here we go. Can they make it 3 for 3? 3rd and 10. Hillstead gets some protection, fires downfield, caught by Royals. In a little bit of traffic, Royals went up and got it.
And he caught it twice.
Yeah, he did.
He caught it, and then he kind of bobbled it, and then he caught it again. And that's an enormous first down and a terrific catch.
18 yards on the pickup. Aggies are marching down the field on this first drive.
I'm watching the Waggle twins down here. One's wearing red, one's wearing yellow on the Utah State sideline. They're sending the plays in.
Well, it's a great story, too, because Davis, the one in the red, as we go downfield,
I think he got
the end zone, and an amazing catch for Terrell Vaughn. Terrell's in the end zone.
How about that? Take a look at this. Vaughn on the post pattern in double coverage.
Wow.
That is
Great
a
catch.
perfect pass. That's a pass that you throw.
Pass, yeah.
And the coach is saying, no. Great
Yes.
pass. Yes.
That's what McKay Hillstead can do, though. He's got a great arm, and he's very accurate. We saw that all during his career at Skyridge High School down there in Lehigh. Point after on the way is curls in. Up and good. And how about that? It's a 2-score game now.
Just like that.
Yeah. And that drive goes 11 plays, Frank, 75 yards, and that amazing 20-yard touchdown reception into traffic. And most importantly, they converted all 3 of their third downs. We'll be back. Aggie football on KJAZ TV and the Mountain West Network. We're back. The Aggies, we've been talking about McKay Hillstead settling in. Frank, in the first 22 minutes of this game, he was 4 of 10 for -4 yards. Remember how long they were in the negative column? Seemed like forever.
Forever.
And since then, this is since the 7-minute mark of the second quarter, McKay Hillstead, 11 of 17, 186 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He has completely turned around his game.
Yeah.
Now we got to... I'm really actually very curious to see what we see on the defense. Look at this pass, though. Oh, that is remarkable.
That is into double coverage and just putting it on the receiver's body. Well,
with 2 men in coverage.
Yeah. Now this is the big part. Can Utah State make a stop on a super effective James Madison offense?
Jordan McLeod at quarterback. 5-yard pickup. Brown
dropped it.
Oh, he did drop
dropped it. Yeah. Yeah. So good start there for the Aggies. So James Madison, one back in the backfield. Two tight ends. Nope, one tight end in the game. Three receivers.
McLeod closed the first half, completing his last 7 passes. We'll see what happens here. That was almost an amazing one-handed catch for Sproles. But now he starts the second half 0 for 2.
And a little pressure by Utah State off of the defensive edge.
And already a 3rd and long, Frank.
Well, 3rd and long has to be Utah State's friend in this half.
And let's see where this penalty goes, but assuming it holds, this will be their longest 3rd down of the night.
James Madison only 3 of 7.
Yeah. The Aggies will take a timeout. Obviously something they did not like.
Well, actually, I say only 3 of 7. That's still pretty good. When you're approaching the 50% mark on 3rd downs, you're in pretty good shape.
To think that this is the longest 3rd down they've had. I mean, normally you see 3rd and longs all night long from teams, but they've had. Remember, they had the 3rd and 5, and the Aggies couldn't get off the field by way of penalty.
Yeah.
So an opportunity here.
They had another one like this, 3rd and 10-ish in the first half, and they were able to convert on that. See what they do here.
I'm going to bring a space heater to our next 2 games.
Is that right?
Yeah, just put it right down under here.
Yeah, I'm going to bring a beanie for sure.
I mean, I love it. It's beautiful up here, but the garage door opener.
Love it. I love that too.
Not a lot of heat inside the booth. So, all right, McLeod's pass. Great defense right there as the Aggies step up. Number of great plays made throughout the evening. It's just a matter of timing.
Avante Dickerson on the pass breakup. Little pressure supplied, and that's a terrific play in the defensive backfield by number 17, Dickerson.
How about this? First punt of the night for James Madison.
Yeah, that punter is going to be cold. He can't be warmed up.
No.
Looks like he's wearing shorts. He doesn't even have his knee pads on. What in the world?
He didn't think that they'd be using him. Punt is hauled in at the 30-yard line. Aggies return is on. How about this?
Oh!
You got to love this, and just broken up towards the end of that, but Micah Davis is so dangerous.
Hey, now we're talking about first punt of the game for JMU. On the previous drive, Hillstead leads his team into the end zone to bring it within 2 scores. So talk about a momentum shift here in Logan.
46-yard kick, and as you see there, a 35-yard return. And yeah, the Aggies are set up great at the 36-yard line. This is such an important drive right here. You score right here, you got a whole new game. You already have a whole new game as they played well to start this second half. But if you can get 2 possessions, back-to-back scores.
No, they have to stop. This is going to be a legal motion. And they called timeout. That's exactly what Anderson had to do because...
Yeah, he knows it too, doesn't he?
Yeah, because Bowman was resetting while they started to go into motion. So they had to take timeout because it would have been an illegal motion penalty.
This is interesting, though. They've had to use 2 timeouts. And we're only a couple minutes into the second half. They only have 1 left. We'll be back. Aggies trying to score on a 5th straight possession, Frank, after going scoreless on their first 4 of the game. Well, wouldn't that be something? McCahill.
Oh, no.
Trying to set up a screen.
Oh, it's out. The ball's out again, and Utah State recovers.
Are you kidding me?
They throw an interception.
They was trying to set up the screen. They were trying to set up the screen.
Yes.
And we'll show you. Take a look at this replay. But how fortunate, the fumble, and they get the ball back.
Ramunick on the interception, on the return, has it stripped away, and Utah State recovers.
Wade Meekum out of Layton High School up the road. He recovered it.
And it's just first down. It's just 1st and 10 because of the change of possessions.
That's a great point.
How about that?
That worked out perfectly. Just the way they drew it up.
Wow.
Duke's showing some pressure.
Oh, they are. I wonder if they're going to reset. Now they're going back to their 2 deep safety look. Utah State changes the play.
And here we go. Pass complete in the flat 30-yard line. Bowman's got it again. And he picks up even more yardage.
That's a terrific throw. Watch this. On a rope from Hillstead to Bowman, and Bowman picks up a nice first down.
15 yards on the pickup. Aggies on the move. Little jet sweep. Oh, it's a reverse. And they're going to throw back. And this is actually not going to work out terrible, but not the way they wanted it to. I was kind of waiting to see where this is going, and it didn't go far.
It did not.
After all that, they gained 2 yards.
The ball moved 150 yards for a 2-yard gain.
All right, Hillstead, threw it right as he got nailed. Well, he was lucky to get rid of that.
Yeah, I think he saw that late pressure out of the corner of his eye and was able to get rid of the ball. Now, this is
a look at this.
Enormous third down. Okay, so the ball goes here, goes back here.
Yeah, he was lucky to even catch it right there.
Great catch, break a tackle, 2-yard gain.
Third down.
This is a big third down. You have to at least give yourself a shot on a 4th down situation.
Lane in motion. And they'll hold up.
There's only 4 seconds on the play clock.
Better hustle. 2, 1. Just got it off in time. They're going to run it. And good pickup. You said you want to set yourself up for a good 4th down if Coach Anderson decides to go for it, but it looks like he's going to send the field goal team out there. And
yeah, he's going to
maybe, this early, maybe not a bad call. That puts them within 11 if they hit this.
I think he's going to send Nimrod out there to score a touchdown.
Could you imagine if you pulled that off twice in a game? I don't.
No,
I could
not.
Yeah. That's the old fool me once play. That doesn't happen. All right, here we go. Elliott for a 37-yarder. And his kick is on the way, and his kick is no good.
Oh, man.
So, victory for James Madison University.
Definitely. That's super costly.
Yeah, and the Aggies really had something going. I mentioned they had scored on 4 straight possessions, and that breaks that run. So we'll take a break. Aggies defense back on the field. We are back. Aggies miss a field goal. And Jordan McLeod back on the field in the first half, 18 of 23. Frank, he only had 5 incomplete passes in that first half. In the second half, he hasn't completed one yet. He's 0 for 3.
How about that? In the pistol formation, run off the right side and defended nicely by this Utah State Aggie defense. I think the defensive unit, that last series they had a good stop. This series, that's a good stop on first down. Now let's see if they can
Switzer.
be as effective. I like that Switzer.
Switzer was actually teammates with JMU's linebacker, Jarius Ramunek. We talked about that a little bit. They both played at Arkansas State for Blake Anderson before he came here.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so here we go.
Big third down again.
Now it's third down on the. It's a digital down marker on the far sideline, and that went through 4 different ruminations before it landed on third down here.
3 of 8 on third downs.
Oh,
there
boy.
He goes. Still gets the pass off, and it's intercepted by Switzer, Anthony Switzer. Spires had him wrapped up, Frank, and he should have just taken the sack.
He should have. He's trying to make too much happen. We'll get a look at the replay here. And now it's official. McLeod Oh, now we see there was a little controversy about whether or not that was an interception, and now it's been ruled an interception from what I understand.
Well, and Coach Signetti is, I think, calling for another replay, but it doesn't look like.
And there's the official, the official on the field, like the TV.
Well, you're talking about the red hat, and but they're saying go ahead and play.
Okay.
So he's basically there to tell them we're going to stop and look at this.
Yep.
They must have looked at it and decided it was good. So here we go. Third straight drive starting in JMU territory for the Aggies, and they're running again. A flag just came in. This might be coming back.
Oh, no. And
Briggs on the carry.
Briggs
see.
is slow getting up. And this is thrown right in the middle of the line of scrimmage. And that is likely against Utah State. And Briggs is down. He is not getting up. He tried to get back to the huddle, and he went down again.
Wade Meekum on the hold, so they'll back this up and replay first down. But more importantly, as you mentioned, we're keeping an eye on Robert Briggs, and he is now up. And we're going to take a break. So 6:21, third quarter. The Aggies playing much better football in this second half on KJazz TV and the Mountain West Network. Back here in Logan, Aggies trying to fight their way back into this game against James Madison, undefeated Dukes, taking on the 1-2 Aggies. They are starting in JMU territory, the fourth drive. They had that TD on the fake field goal, an interception, and a missed field goal. And we'll see how this one turns out. They have not got a touchdown yet on any of these four drives that started in James Madison territory, other than the fake field goal. But the offense has not scored. Second and long. He only picked up a couple. Hillstead pump fakes. Oh, he's got it. Pump fake worked perfectly, and it's caught by Royals. Frank, that was a picture-perfect pump fake, and everyone bought it.
It was, and you remember when we talked to Coach Anderson earlier this week, and he talked about maybe having a chance to go downfield with the football. Well, They're really getting after that now, and Hillstead seems like he is right on the mark.
26 yards on the pickup. Back to the ground game. It's Booth.
I don't mind that play on first down. He almost was able to break free into the end zone. He had a lot of running room past that line of scrimmage, but JMU is really good at the line of scrimmage.
JMU, you said, only giving up 20 yards per game rushing, which is phenomenal. The Aggies already have 37. They've almost doubled that.
How about that?
Yeah. And here we go. Oops. That's why they only give up about 20 a game.
I didn't mind it on the first down.
Yeah.
Second down.
Going to the well once too often.
Yeah, now you're put yourself in a difficult third down situation. Is this four down territory? Based on the last missed field goal time starting to run out a little bit, I think you have to put a touchdown in here.
Yeah, you may be right. Hillstead with Booth in the backfield with him. And they're going to throw it this time. McKay looks. McKay fires, and it's caught for a Terrell Vaughn touchdown.
Late flag in the middle of the field. I think it's going to be a dead ball, though. Touchdown counts, dead ball against. We'll see.
Vaughn, though, what a catch for his fifth touchdown on the season. Take a look.
Yeah, he threaded the needle beautiful on that one.
But let's see what the penalty is. Okay, here we go. So touchdown count. So Tavu Motu'upuaka must have hit someone late after.
Yeah.
I didn't see it on the.
I didn't either.
Look
see
for
if we
65.
Can see. I see. We don't get him.
He's off camera now, but that's when it happened.
Yep.
But either way, they get the touchdown. They'll just be kicking off a little further back.
Well, how about this?
Elliott Nimrod for the point after. And he's got that. And my goodness, folks, it's a 7-point game. Remember, the Aggies were down 24-0.
Remember, the Aggies were down 24-0. Remember, the Aggies had negative 16 yards of offense in the first quarter.
Oh, my word.
Talk about a turnaround. Holy cow.
Remarkable. 5-play drive, 24 yards, and the 6-yard reception to Vaughn.
And James Madison a little flustered.
Yeah, indeed.
On their side of the ball. They looked unstoppable in the beginning of this football game, and they could do nothing wrong at the line of scrimmage.
Some more numbers that have turned around. We knew that Terrell Vaughn was certainly capable. He's a great receiver. 28 receptions coming into the game. At one point, remember, he had 2 targets, 1 reception, -4 yards. He's now 6 receptions, 45 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So he's starting to impose his will as well.
You know, what I really love, I love collegiate traditions at football games. And you know the tradition here?
The Scotsman.
The Scotsman. After a Utah State score, they do the Scotsman. I don't know any of the words. I can't hum the tune, but I know I like it. And the whole student section does a dance, and it's all coordinated.
Well, this will definitely be returned because of the penalty the Aggies had to kick further back. And good return. Oh, boy. And all the way down, they're going to spot this at the 40-yard line of the Aggies, a 41-yard return.
Yeah, Barksdale got a head of steam behind him.
And, you know, Frank, that's what those penalties after a touchdown can be very costly.
They can be. And in that situation,
you don't think about it, but they are.
Wouldn't you think about just kicking the ball out of bounds or squib kicking or something like that?
I often wonder that because the worst-case scenario, they're going to get the ball at the 35, and that's basically where they get it anyway.
Yeah, but it would be their own 35 and not the 40.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. All right, here we go. Ooh. Palmer, the running back now, and he gets hit hard. John Ward popped him. Ward is the UCLA transfer, number 42.
Like a gain of about a half a yard, but that's a favorable spot.
McLeod. Pass is incomplete. It's like he's a little off target, but he's being pressured.
You know, and that play, that's the same play that we've seen tonight that has been very successful.
Yeah, it's worked all night.
It's worked all night long, and now McLeod can't get it to his receiver. So another big third down.
He is 0 for 5, Frank, in the second half after an 18 for 23 first half. 3rd and 9. And quick timeout taken by Kurt Signetti for the Dukes.
That's his first. As you mentioned, Utah State down to only 1 timeout remaining. They had to burn one earlier to avoid a illegal motion penalty. They have some interesting characters jumping around the stands.
If we get even remotely close to Halloween, the students start taking advantage of it.
You mean remotely close like in April?
Some of the scores from our neck of the woods here. Utah, a wild game against UCLA. They won it 14-7. Utah did. Had to hold UCLA at the end of the game. In fact, UCLA's last drive, Utah had 3 sacks in 4 plays.
That's a Kyle Whittingham special.
Absolutely. 14-7, and one of the touchdowns was a
defensive touchdown. That's right.
Karene Reed. And then BYU, their first ever Big 12 game, they lost at Kansas 38-27. Weber State, late in the fourth quarter, they're trailing Montana State 40-0.
Oh, dear.
Jay Hill's former team. 3rd and long. Big opportunity for the Aggie defense. And they're going to try to run it with Black. You almost wonder if that's a
interesting.
Simeon Harris on the stop. I almost wonder if that was a setup for a fourth down play.
Well,
but he didn't really get much.
Yeah, if they wanted 4th and 7, I don't know. Here comes the punt team. Wow. I mean, talk about a turnaround. Utah State could do nothing right in the first half, especially at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
That's still an interesting play call, though.
It is very interesting.
3rd and 9.
And JMU has been so effective throwing the ball, although
look at their
McLeod in the second half, no good.
Yeah, 7 yards in the second half for JMU as they pin the Aggies down. But it's like a complete flip-flop. Remember, the Aggies' offense was anemic.
Yes.
The first half, JMU. That's our TV station, KMYU. They had 366 yards of offense.
Yeah.
And now they've had 7.
It's a tale of two halves. No question about it. Now, this is a difficult scenario. So JMU has flipped the field.
Right.
And Utah State starting deep in their own territory at their 3-yard line. Can you manufacture a first down here and get yourself a little breathing room? Because Utah State offensively has been really effective this half.
McKay Hillstead standing in his own end zone. And McKay gets rid of the ball, and it's high. He's trying to hit Colby Bowman, but it was really high and incomplete. Bowman, he's 6'2", but no.
But I don't know, I don't know if Bill Walton would have had a chance of catching that one.
This stadium's gone oddly quiet. Maybe they're trying to listen to the play. Okay.
They just want to give the offense plenty of, when you're quiet over a putt, they're just giving them all that.
2nd and 10 draw play, trying to get something on the ground. And how about that? This might be the best run of the night as Booth. They're going to spot this all the way. Frank, I think they're going to move the chains. I think that's a first
Utah
down.
State.
Yeah.
First down. Wait a second. Do we have we do. We have an injured player.
Injured player, not a penalty. So they will move the chains, and Utah State plugging right along.
Yeah, that is a run for a first down. That doesn't happen against.
Clearly the best run of the night.
Yeah.
With no question. Remember, they were at 37 yards after that last drive.
We get a look at it here. How about this? Great cut right here. Look at that. Just changes direction. Does Booth and picks up the first down. Well, the ball has not been spotted yet. So we'll see where they put it down. And there's no official standing where the – oh, wait. They did spot the ball. And now the ball – yeah, it's first down. There we go. I thought for some reason I was not looking at the chains correctly. This is a first down. I didn't realize they reset the chains.
By the way, the Aggies actually now have 46 yards because we understand that Booth's fake field goal –
that counts?
That was a running play. That was 18 yards.
Look at this.
And here they go again, and not much this time.
Well, Booth, he should have kept following his big offensive lineman around that left side, and then he decided to cut it back, and that's when he got himself into trouble. So only a 1-yard gain. Yeah, trust that. I mean, follow that guy. He's going to create a little space.
2nd and 9. Hillstead gets rid of it just in time, and a big catch for Brock Lane, and another Aggie first down.
And Booth did a terrific job on blitz pickup. Just got enough of the blitzing linebacker, as you see it right there, to allow Hillstead to release the football. Another first down.
12 yards on the pickup for McKay Hillstead. And Hillstead to Booth, and Booth another good carry.
Wow. Look at Utah State getting the run game going, and another JMU player is down.
That one's James Carpenter, big lineman.
Yeah. Holy cow.
We have seen a number of players go down in this game. Some have come back. And Carpenter is now up, so that's good. You know, in the game, if you think about it, when it really kind of started to slowly turn around, the cell phone incident.
You know what? It was this game We'll see how it ends up.
you.
We'll see how it ends up. But this game might be known
The cell phone game.
henceforth and
Yeah.
evermore as the great cell phone
game.
incident.
Carpenter, boy, he's an important part of this team. 5 tackles, Frank, already. 2 for loss and a sack.
Yeah. By the way, I was looking over your shoulder, and you keep looking at that cell phone incident on your phone. You can't stop watching it.
My producer, Tim Peterson, back at the TV station, sent me a copy of it. It is just unbelievable. Nothing doing there.
Yeah.
Ran right into the belly of the beast. It's going to be a 3rd and long. They're going to back it.
There. Wait.
No
Nothing?
flag there. Okay.
Nothing?
Well, the fans sure wanted something.
Everybody wanted it. There's only one sideline that didn't want that penalty. Everybody else wanted it.
It's Kamara that flattened him. Booth's okay, though. They lose 2 yards, 3rd and 7. Closing seconds of this 3rd quarter. Aggies really would love to keep this drive going. 4 for 5 in this half on 3rd downs. Hillstead, plenty of time. It's caught. It's right on it.
Where's the mark?
And they're going to move the chains.
And
Micah Davis with the catch. I mean, that was one of those, Frank, where they could have spotted the ball anywhere, but I saw the official on the far side immediately signal move the chains.
Yep. And he's on the JMU sideline.
Yeah, exactly. He
terrific.
controls the chain game. 1st down, Hillstead. Oh, did you see that block? Complete. Vaughn again. Vaughn's starting to wake up.
Another injured player. JMU, now he gets back up. I mean, this is like, these guys must be hitting like crazy, and that will do it.
Well, you saw him flip through the air.
Yep, that will do it for the 3rd quarter. And how about this turnaround for Utah State in quarter number 3?
On the scoreboard, in the stats, everywhere you look, they just completed a 20-yard play, and when we come back, Aggies with the ball down by a touchdown on KJAZ TV and the Mountain West Network. Welcome back, McKay Hillstead. Aggies quarterback having a heck of a second half. Frank Dolce, 18 of 27. He's thrown for 272 yards and 3 touchdowns in the last 22 minutes.
Yeah, well, the first half
phenomenal.
Looked anemic. In the second half, he looks like Superman.
And here we go again. This time they'll keep it on the ground. Even the running game is picked up as Booth has good yardage.
Flag down. This is coming back.
Yeah, McKay's not moving. He's right at the flag.
Yeah, I think another holding penalty, this time against 56 Moats.
Again, the stadium goes quiet. Yeah, you called it.
That's too bad. That was a terrific run. And the way that Utah State has been able to manufacture a run game here in the second half is very impressive.
Yeah, but you need every one of them.
Yeah, but now, 1st and 20, you don't have to pick it all up right here. I mean, you just have to work yourself into a good 3rd down situation.
34 rushing yards in this second half alone.
There's a penalty against JMU.
Yeah. Ball downfield is caught near the original line of scrimmage. Let's check this flag.
So you're going to be 2nd and 12, or you're going to be 1st and 15. I think you'll take that 1st and 15. So there you go. Take the penalty, 1st and 15.
Yeah. All right. So we'll reset. Hillstead at quarterback. The true freshman. Playing in the state championship last November. And guided Skyridge to their first ever title game. And here he is starting for the Aggies.
There was a lot of stuff. Everybody was moving on that, but I think this one's going to go right back against Utah State.
Even McKay looked a little frustrated on that one.
So 1st and 15, now back to 1st and 20.
Well, I guess At least it's still first down.
Yeah.
They keep getting longer and longer. You know, Blake Anderson told you and I, we had a call with him on Friday, that one thing that really helped McKay was getting up here for spring ball. And a lot of graduating seniors are doing that now as quickly as they can. It really gets them ahead of the game. McKay's going to take off on this one, and Hillstead gets up near the original line of scrimmage. He
Nifty.
got popped afterwards.
He did. I think he landed on the football. Looks a little funny, headed back to the huddle, but he's ready to go in the shotgun right here.
2nd and 12. Hillstead again avoids the rush. Throws. That would have been another, sensational catch, Frank, for Vaughn, like the touchdown.
It would have been sensational, but Hillstead put it right
on him. Yeah.
Even on the scramble and on the run, he put it right on it.
He's incredibly accurate. We know that. So on 3rd down, the Aggies, 5 of 6 in this second half. They've been very good. This is a 3rd and 12. But like I said, in this second half, anything could happen. Hillstead, pressure coming. Aggies pick it up. Look at him buying time, throwing deep downfield, and he's almost intercepted. He was going for Royals. Royals was there.
Yep.
But then out of nowhere, you saw Pons come up and nearly pick it off. But you know what? He gave him a chance.
He sure did.
Take a look.
Great scramble. He probably didn't get quite as much on the ball as he wanted, and Pons makes a terrific play on the ball.
Almost can't believe he didn't catch that.
Yeah.
So Cheese standing at his 10-yard line.
Cheese.
We're still waiting to come up with a nickname for his brother. Oh, that was fake. Oh, no. This isn't going to go well.
Oh, man.
You know, the problem was the ball was on the ground, and that slowed everything down.
I think that's right.
If that had been clean from the get-go, watch the snap right here. And whoops, right there. I mean, just that little split second.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Just
JMYU,
enough.
I mean, they saw it coming. Two fakes in one game, Frank Dolce.
Yeah, and this leaves JMU with terrific field position when we come back.
JMU, they have the ball, but they haven't done much in the second half, Frank. They have 7 yards of total offense, all rushing. They don't have a passing yard until now. And that's their first positive passing yard of the second half, and we're in the fourth quarter.
They have been not very productive in the second half, and it's because Utah State's been really good at the line of scrimmage. This is a nice play, a quick passing play to Black. Let him get outside, picks up 7 yards on the play. That's a nice start for the Dukes.
Black in the backfield on 2nd and short. And he's got the ball, and he was wrapped up. Oh, my word. Blaine Spires.
Yeah,
he was in there fast.
He's been evident tonight. And that's a terrific play off the edge by Spires. And a big 3rd down right here. You have to think if James Madison gets to 4th and 2 or less, they're going to go for it on a 4th down scenario. Unless they pick it up here, we'll see.
0 for 3 on 3rd down conversions in the second half. And man, that ball bounced off ground like it hit his helmet or something. I mean, like a shot.
I think it hit his knee. It went through his hand, hit his knee, bounced back. And how about this? 3 and out. James Madison is going to be forced to punt the ball away. 12 minutes, 2 seconds remaining here in this fourth quarter. And Utah State's going to get the ball back. Just watch for the fake.
Micah Davis back at his 10-yard line.
And Utah State did give up a first down on a penalty here. And that time they stayed home.
Yeah, they took a quick timeout. Second half possessions for the Dukies. How about this, Frank? A 3-and-out, an interception, and 2 more 3-and-outs. So they've had 3 3-and-outs and an interception.
If you put their first half stats up, JMU,
you wouldn't believe you're watching the same game.
And then you put their second half stats up, you wouldn't. You wouldn't believe you're watching the same game.
I mean, it's a horrible cliche, and you used it earlier, the old tale of 2 halves. but it really is.
You think that's a terrible?
Yeah, I hate that one. Because every game is a tale of 2 halves. Literally.
Well,
you have the first half and you have the second half.
But sometimes the first half and the second half are very much the same. But when it's
still 2 different tales if you're writing a book.
But when it's 2 different halves, then you say it's a tale of 2 halves. Would you like me to clarify that more?
How about this, though? Let me just sum it up. It's a tale of 2 halves because in the second half, 366 yards for the Aggies in a half. Well, that's for the game. JMU in the first half, fair catch called for, 366 yards, 12 yards in the second half. Frank, that's a tale of 2 halves.
That's a tale of 2 halves. That's what I call it.
That's just unbelievable.
I really like that.
You know what? You got to give credit to the Aggie defense because we talked about that as they went to the locker room at halftime, that the biggest conversation would be with that defense. We figured McKay Hillstead would settle in, and he started too late in the first half. But this defense, if they can somehow pull this off, I can promise you Blake Anderson's going to be very proud of this defense.
Yes. Yes, he will. Well, plenty of time left in this football game. The Aggies just need to go down and score now.
All right, McKay Hillstead gives to Booth. And Booth bounces it outside, and Booth's going to have a nice carry up very near a first down. It's going to be a 2nd and 1.
They're kind of gashing this James Madison defense in the run game. That is surprising. James Madison, don't forget, 22.7 yards per game average rushing this year, and there's a first down.
Booth's got the first.
Yeah, Booth has been very productive.
56 yards in the second half. Hillstead going deep down the right side. Davis, Micah Davis makes the catch, and Davis races to the end zone, 76 yards.
I mean, watch this. McKay Hillstead could not have run down next to Davis and handed him the ball any better. Right on him, and then Davis just enough to get into the corner of the end zone. How about that?
And now for the tie. This is remarkable. It was 24-0. Since then, the Aggies, pending this point after, if they make it, will have outscored the Dukies 38-14. The point after is perfect. We are tied up. Unbelievable. 3 plays, 90 yards, 76-yard touchdown reception by Davis. What a comeback, and we're not done yet. Wow, what a comeback, folks. Boy, if you left when it was 24-0, you have missed a great game. Second half, Utah State has outgained the Dukes 270-12 and outscored them 21-0.
Yeah, completely eclipsed the offensive stats.
And I also know the words to the Scotsman. Show me the Scotsman who doesn't love the thistle.
Wait, are you making this
Show
up?
me the Englishman who doesn't love the rose. Yep.
Who sent you that? Did your daughter send you that?
Show me the true-blooded Aggie from Utah who doesn't love the spot where the sagebrush grows. Oh, that's what they're cheering about. Just so you know.
Thank you.
By the way, Hillstead, think about this. Think about his rough start, right? His 357 passing yards, second most by a freshman. in school history. 370 is the record. That you remember Darryl Garrettson back in about 10 years ago.
Yeah, well.
So Hillstead only needs 13 more yards.
That's going to be
to eclipse that
in this
but
game.
The crazy thing is he had such a rough first half.
You mean minus 4 yards passing?
Right.
Yeah,
he'd
that's
be
a
over.
rough start.
If on this pace, he'd have been around 500 or 600 yards. Back to that ground game. It's been very productive. And Kalen Black with another big pickup.
Now it is incumbent upon this Utah State defense to stay
they got to
steady.
keep it up.
Yeah,
right.
They have to make another stop. This is an explosive James Madison offense.
That's their first down, Frank, of the second half. First time they've gotten a first down. Pass complete out in the flat from McLeod, and
that play has been super productive
really
tonight.
productive. Keep the clock moving, and it'll be a good pickup, second and short coming.
Yeah, this is the James Madison offense we saw in the first half. Big chunk plays. At one point, they were averaging 18 yards a play.
Yeah, that's right, in the first half. McLeod gives off to Black. He's got the first down. Boy, as well as the defense is playing, this is not the time to let up. They've come all the way back and tied this thing up.
Yeah, and that's after Tafisi Jr. went out of the game. Cole Joyce has filled in nicely. Yeah.
First down, right near midfield. McLeod, screen set up to Black. Aggies get there as quick as they can, but he still picks up 5.
Joyce on the tackle. We just talked about him filling in for Tafisi. And this is James Madison right back on the ball. 6 yards, 5 yards every single play, keeping the defense on their heels.
Second down and 5. Aggies showing a little pressure, and here it
finally
comes.
bring it.
Oh, and McLeod found a hole. And
ball's out.
And the Aggies recover. It is recovered by Spires. Frank, what a game he's had since coming in.
No kidding, and we didn't even have him listed on our
depth chart.
our depth chart. And 52 Spires has been fantastic. How about the hit on the play to dislodge the football when James Madison is on the march offensively? Miscommunication in the backfield. Big hit from behind.
Third turnover of the second half for the Dukes. And the Aggies offense, we've already discussed that. It is really rolling in this second half.
Boy,
Under 9 minutes to play.
How many big chunk plays for this Utah State offense?
Keep in
the
mind,
second half.
we talked about this, McKay Hillstead only needs 13 more yards to become the most prolific passer for a freshman debut. 11 chunk plays in this game. That looks a little more like the JMU run defense right there.
Yes, it does. Well, I mean, Utah State has been successful on the ground game in this second half. Look at that. 74 yards on the ground for Utah State in this football game. That's outstanding against this James Madison defense.
Hillstead running out of trouble. Oh, throws a nice, gentle little pass there, but easily knocked out of bounds and incomplete to Royals.
Okay, so 2 no yardage gains on first and second down. Big third down here for Utah State. Got to take advantage of that turnover.
McKay's completed some big third downs in this game. Let's see what he's got now. Hillstead, popped.
Wow.
He got popped by Tyreek Tucker, who got right around the offensive line and nailed him.
Yeah, that's what we saw out of.
McKay's holding his shoulder as he comes off the field. We'll keep an eye on that.
He
Hope he's okay.
really took a shot. That's what we saw out of James Madison in the first half. That's the kind of defensive series we saw out of James Madison in the first half. And Utah State forced a punt.
Kick is away.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Cheese is backpedaling and gets fair catch at the 15-yard line. 52-yard kick with no return. And this defense started to bend a little bit on that last drive before the turnover. We'll see what they've got for JMU now. We got a good one. We're deadlocked. Aggies have fought all the way back here on KJazz TV and the Mountain West Network. Welcome back. What a great second half this has been for the Utah State Aggies. Right now, the defense needing to step up. It is tied, but they don't want to give JMU another score. Black around that right side, and he's run out of bounds after a pickup of 5.
JMU is really getting to the edge now. They're trying to use that team speed to outrun Utah State to the sideline to sideline. And they're doing a good job so far.
Actually a pickup of 6, second down and 4. McLeod. That pass is caught right on the marker. I think they'll move that. It's Cheese's brother catches it.
He doesn't even have a name anymore. He's just Cheese's brother, Elijah. Maybe call him Crackers. Cheese and Crackers.
Cheese and Crackers.
How about that?
Or, yeah, I like that. Cheese and Crackers it is. First down for Duke. Not much doing for Black on that carry. He will get very little, maybe gain a half a yard.
So that is a key right there, is to be stingy on first down. So now you force JMU to be extra productive on second down.
Cole Joyce, by the way, in on the tackle there.
Again.
Yeah.
He's been
another very good in the absence of, Tafisi. Second and 10.
Little pressure.
McLeod looking. Hit right as he threw it. That's a remarkable throw and an even better catch. How about that? And Brown is going to score. A 74-yard touchdown. And I mean, McLeod was popped right as he threw that.
Well, Utah State brought the pressure. That will leave the secondary a little light. And on that quick post pattern, watch this pass on the money as he gets hit.
Oh.
And you got to make a tackle. Missed tackle.
Yeah, I mean, the defense was right there. You're right.
Yep. And JMU fights back to take the lead.
Point after on the way for a 7-point lead, and that is good. Back and forth we go. 45-38. Aggies have actually never led in this game. But they did come back from 24 down to tie it.
You know, if we had done what I suggested we do with the push-ups, can you imagine how many push-ups? You know, you got the 38 and then the 45, and Tyson, if you could add all those up, 38
Hey, he's
for
busy
Utah
keeping
State
real stats.
and 45 for James Madison. Like, you just tell us how many push-ups we would have had to do, and then why don't we put that on our list, and during the week we'll complete those push-ups.
I'm more of a pull-up guy.
Pull yourself up to the bar, maybe.
James Madison has really picked things up. I'm not really going to say in the second half, but certainly in this fourth quarter in the last couple of drives.
That drive especially. They showed some on the previous drive. But
the bulk of it on one play.
Exactly. And but this is a team that had been shut out. They were shut out in the third quarter, no question, by Utah State. And Utah State picked things up. And now it's a matter who's going to win the fourth quarter.
In their first 4 drives of the second half, JMU only had 12 total yards. And in their last 2 drives, they've had 121 yards. I remember they had the fumble on the one drive, so that helped the Aggies. And here we go with Davis. And Davis still up.
That is nifty.
Yeah, scoots all the way up near the 30-yard line. They'll actually spot it at the 27.
Oh, and there's a little extracurricular by the kicker who doesn't get flagged for it.
Boy, you want to be careful.
Yes, you do.
All right, back comes McKay Hillstead. See what he can do with this Aggie offense. He's had a great night so far and really a great second half. And Hillstead firing deep downfield, trying to hit Vaughn, and Vaughn comes back and makes the catch all the way down to the 30-yard line.
The only, if you want to be nitpicky on that, it was ever so slightly underthrown.
Yep.
And Vaughn had to come back to it, or that would have been another touchdown, but a terrific play nonetheless for Utah State.
42 yards on the pickup. Hillstead in trouble, and he is sacked. And down he goes.
And he's down, and he's slow to get up. He took a big shot on the last series, but this is a tough kid. We watched him fight through some adversity in high school as well.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a big sack, and that now is second down and long to go. 18 yards.
Yeah, they lost a ton.
Got to pick up a chunk right here.
Hillstead looks back.
He's got single coverage on the top. There is one safety in the middle of the field. 3 receivers to the bottom.
Hillstead pump fakes again. Didn't fool the defense at all. And that pass is incomplete. Now you're looking at a 3rd and long. And as you have said, get back some of it.
Yeah, that makes it really tough there. So miscommunication between Hillstead and his receiver. I think he was looking for his tight end Lane. Couldn't connect with him. And now big 3rd down. If you find yourself, you don't have to pick up a 1st down here, but if you can get within 4th and a couple, it's probably a good area to go for it. But you have to be really productive here.
He's been good on 3rd downs. He's 6 of 11, 44 yards and a touchdown, and 5 first downs. So 6 of 11 with including that touchdown. Here we go. Hillstead unloads right to the corner. It looks like he's out of bounds, and he was. That would have been an incredible catch.
Wow, 4:19 left. You're down by a score. Well, I think keep your offense out here
on a 4th and 19 though.
That's the issue. Because this could be kind of the make or break play right here.
To give this offense back the ball, even though they have not been very good in the second half, they've been good in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, it's just you're just playing again.
The other issue though, the timeouts. Remember they had to use 2 of them earlier.
Yeah, they only have one left.
Have one.
Yeah, that
you're almost forced to do this.
Okay.
Well, here we go. 4th and 19. Huge play here. Pocket is collapsing. Hillstead in trouble and just tries to make something happen, and he can't. And the Aggies turn it over, and JMU is going to have the football in great field position, shy of the 40. Well, that was a gutsy call, but they just could not protect him.
Yeah, they sure couldn't. And in that longer developing play, JMU was able to get home and force the pressure on Hillstead out of the pocket, and great pursuit. And so now it's up to your defense. Can Utah State make a stop, or preferably can Utah State create a turnover?
Well, both teams with just one timeout. JMU obviously not interested in using one, but the Aggies only have the one, and obviously they'll keep running it. And Palmer is hit initially and then stays up, and he ends up picking up a couple.
Gets out of bounds.
You've been preaching this all night. Got to make your tackles.
Yeah.
Let's pick up a 4 when he was hit at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Palmer's a load. And that guy's 6 feet, 220 pounds. He's tough to bring down.
Palmer stays in the backfield. You would assume they will continue to run this football, and they will. There goes Palmer, and lowers it. Lost the ball. And the Aggies have it. How about that? Another huge turnover for the Aggies.
That is the best they could do on that defensive series.
You called for it. You said what they really need is a turnover. and they got it.
The turnover.
Ike Larson had that big interception against Idaho State 2 weeks ago. And Larson from nearby Skyview High School
puts his helmet on the ball, and then he strips it.
And by the way, he was the one that missed the tackle on that previous play. Remember when they would have been down at the line of scrimmage?
So
Boy, did he make up for that?
Yeah, he must have felt really bad about it, and then he created
he said, well, I'll show you.
Turnover, okay.
Good for Ike.
Here we go on this offensive series.
First down, 3:38 to play. They're going to try to go around that right side with Booth. And Booth, great yardage, still up, knocked out of bounds, but not before he gets all the way down to the 10-yard line.
He was nearly tackled by the official at the end of that play. Did you see that?
Yep.
And how about Booth? Watch this. As he takes it around the outside, following his big offensive lineman, he makes the most of it, nearly stays in bounds, and gets tackled by the official right there.
35 yards on the pickup. Aggies in business at the 10-yard line. Trying to run this one in. Outside. And Booth, I felt like if he'd have kept running to the inside, he might have scored.
You're exactly right. He tried to bounce it outside at the last minute. Had he stayed on that path toward the end zone, he might be dancing right now in the dark blue
and
pater.
Goal. Yep. Dancing in the dark blue pater. That sounds like a movie. Second down and goal. Hillstead with Booth in the backfield. Final play being sent in for this play. They look back to get the final instructions. Here we go. Hillstead looking. Hillstead's in trouble.
Oh, no. No.
The one thing he couldn't do. And the old throwing back.
Late
and McKay knows it. You absolutely cannot make that throw.
Oh, man. That is a tough break. This is a kid who's played his heart out, but
falling down. I'm not sure he even saw.
Tried a little too much right there.
Aiden Fisher with the interception. I don't think he even saw him. He was trying to hit his tight end, Brock Lane.
Yeah, you just got to either take the sack or throw that one through the field goal uprights.
Well, you need another turnover, Frank.
Yeah.
You all out of those?
Yeah, we do. Well, listen. What you really need is a defensive score. I mean, that's what you need.
That would be even better.
If you're Utah State. We'll see.
And, of course, JMU will keep it on the ground. Black the carry. He's going to lose a yard.
And just that one timeout remaining for Utah State.
But see what you get here on second. And if you hold them on third, you use it.
Yeah.
If they get a first down, you're in trouble.
Yeah, first down that's a nail in the coffin there for Utah State. But that's a good start on first down here. A loss of 1 on the play.
Black in the backfield behind McLeod. Deep in the end zone. Black's got it. Better carry on second down, but it's still a 3rd and 7 as Devin Dye, and they'll use the timeout here.
They'll take it, yep.
But this is the play. First down here ends it. But if the Aggies can hold them and force the punt, they won't have much time, but they'll have an opportunity.
That's exactly right. It's been such a hard-fought game by Utah State and by JMU. You just wonder, man, if Utah State had been a little, just slightly better in the first half.
Slightly is all they needed.
That's all they needed.
Yeah.
Because Utah State was really bad.
You know, these
in
slow
the
starts of just, obviously other than the Idaho State game, the slow start at Iowa, the slow start at Air Force, you look up and just like that, you're trailing big.
Yeah, sometimes
this one was the biggest.
Sometimes that's an identity of a team, is just a slow start and then you figure out, but then it's a little too late.
Aggies next game, they'll take a trip all the way back to Yukon, take on the Huskies before they get back into Mountain West Conference play. Right now they're trying to prevent James Madison from getting a first down.
You have to throw the ball here, right?
Well, 3rd and 7. I mean, there's no timeouts you're trying to get him to take. Oh, and McLeod keeps it. And McLeod, they're going to keep the clock running.
He stayed in bounds,
Did he
but
get the first?
it looked like a missed tackle on the outside, and McLeod was able to dive. He's just short. That's fourth down.
Kirk Cignetti is standing right there. It's 4th and a yard.
Yeah, Cignetti is standing right there. He's going to wait until as much time runs off the game clock as possible.
And then he'll use his last timeout.
Yep. So there should be about 49 seconds left in this game.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about Coach Cignetti. He's a great coach, and his team is very good. But that cell phone incident's going to live in infamy.
The cell phone incident.
It's so good.
Oh, that is classic.
If you haven't seen it, just go to my Twitter page or Facebook. I've posted it on Instagram as well. It is hilarious.
You hit all your socials,
I hit them all.
Are you
In fact,
an influencer?
You know what? I'm going to put it on TikTok right now. Just make sure everybody gets to see it.
That is unbelievable.
It was just what was unbelievable was what happened. That was hilarious.
Yeah. And what position does that guy hold on the coaching staff? Did we find that out?
It's a great question. Well, back to the first half. Their first 4 drives
Look, it's on the phone.
Second half, 15 plays, minus 12 yards.
Okay.
That was the early going.
I think you have to return this, too.
Here we go.
Oh, is he going to get a chance?
No, so the Aggies will have it 47-yard line, 43 seconds left.
This is nothing. Hillstead's already thrown a 70-plus yard touchdown pass.
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
nothing.
And I'm sure JMU will play them that loose.
Oh, well, JMU is we'll see how they play it. Like, this is the situation if you're a defensive coordinator. Now, are you going to stay with your defensive philosophy and pressure the quarterback? Or let's see how JMU lines up here. Just 3 defensive linemen, so clearly they're dropping back into coverage.
Hillstead looking, firing downfield. Incomplete, intercepted. That's the ball game. That's the ball game. McKay Hillstead played his heart out tonight.
He sure did. He played with all of his effort, and that Utah State football team really turned things around in this second half of play. Based on what happened in the first half, this game could have gone significantly differently in favor of JMU.
He passes 1 yard shy of 400, 399 yards, 4 touchdowns, did have the 3 interceptions.
Yeah,
that means